So yeah, we're really excited to talk about the known issues edition.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the known issues edition or is the stick or twist edition? I don't know. Are we sticking or are we twisting with whatever we've decided to go with? Who knows?
Yeah, I no idea. I
Look,
looked at the
I
12
will
this week and
say,
was just like, okay, we just didn't, huh?
I will say, I know we had a big debate in the Discord about it, but I will say, I think it's a positive move from the game director, even though he's not come out and said anything publicly. It may be a move in the right direction for some people to come back to play the game. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. But
just hey, Bungie did what we all knew they were going to inevitably do. We're going to do this. Okay, that's a real bad idea. Hey guys, we're not going to do this. Yay! So we're trending upward on the we're cooking from we're cooked. How long will that last? It's hard to say, but we're back on the upward trend line of that roller coaster again.
Are we?
I mean, for a hot second, anyway. I mean,
yeah.
Welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter, Destiny 2 podcast, a show dedicated to bringing you the latest intel, the mightiest news, and the boldest opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new guardian fresh from the Cosmodrome or a battle-hardened veteran of the Red War, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with tips, tricks, and tower-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
So welcome to the show this week. Myself and Peroty are still here, telling you all the Destiny stuff each and every week. We're not going anywhere. We are still a weekly show. I will drag Peroty here each and every week, and we will talk to you about Destiny, even if there is no Destiny news. Won't we, Peroty?
Yeah. At that point, we'll just make it up, and we'll just put things out into the ether, and just say, "Hey, listen, trust." Using these sources, of trust me, bro, and it'll just be what it is. So yeah, I don't see how this can go wrong.
I've been watching a lot of Colton Ogburn from Screen Crush telling me all about the stuff that's coming with Marvel and Doomsday. And he's going, Spider-Man is going to be in Secret Wars. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in Brand New Day. And he's like, I'm telling you he's going to be in it. It's like, you could be wrong. You could be completely wrong, but I am believing you 100%. I'm going with this. He's going to be in that. You're telling me these things. Like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, they're going to be in this and that. I was like, yep, I'm believing you. You're telling me 100%. You're, with 100% conviction that this, and I'm just going to go with you, even though it might not be true. So we could do the same for Destiny.
Yeah, it's true as of now, because that's the thing. You have no idea whether it's true or not. I'm not entirely sure the community team knows what's true or not. So we're just going to kind of roll with it and be like, hey, here's what's happening. And it'll either be true or not. You have a 50-50 shot. We've basically taken what Crucible mode is it to what in the world is the game going to be this week. Which weapon will do 360% more damage?
Yes. And it's not the weapon that I thought it was going to be. Cheese Forever sorted me out with a video of that, but I'll tell you, I mean, there's no point in kind of recommending it now if you've missed Arms Week and you haven't got those volatile mods, because next week it's going to be gone. But this week it's fun to use that with one specific gun that he's found. So, but should we get into the update 9.1.5 and tell people what's changed to start off with the game, and then we could go from there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so many things have changed. This is the update we played. When are we going to get this one? Is it going to be the 15th? Is it going to be the 7th? It's got to be the 7th, right? Because it's got to be the week between, last week and the 15th.
Nope. So we've got general changes. Kepler Altar of Relativity now focuses engrams and daily rewards up to 450 power. Ooh. Exotic focusing at Master Rahul will now award gear at your power level. That's a nice change, because I'm fed up with going there and just getting trash and really low, and I'm like, yep, delete.
Here's your 200 level whatever that you're just going to infuse anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're higher level, hope you've got the materials to do so.
And it also seems that Ada 1 is also no longer capped at 200 power when you're doing your exotic focusing, so that's good. So she's along the same lines as Master Rahul. They fixed an issue where specific holofall weapons visuals could cause crashes on specific devices. Are we talking about Xbox, maybe? Players will now see the intended holofall visuals in their inventory. They fixed an issue where players could not dismantle nonary manifolds in full stacks. When I read that, and I was like, right, I'm going to the game now, and it's gone. They've gone. They've all gone. I was so excited.
That was the change I was most excited for this week.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
We did it. We finally did it.
I could delete like about 5 waiting for like Crucible matches. I was like, this is how long a Crucible match takes. I can delete 5 of these things now.
Yeah, and they sped it up too, so it's not 45 minutes per deletion now.
No, it's just that's it. It's gone.
It's 230 gone, done. I saw that change. Of course, did I remember to go and clear them out? No, I did not. But now they're gone. All 230 of them gone in one go, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Devon will no longer show a reputation rank on his director tooltip. And they fixed an issue where the Final Shape Legendary campaign start screen incorrectly references completing the Edge of Fates campaign. I thought you did have to complete the Edge of... Oh no, I'm getting confused in my fates and shapes. Yeah. So you don't need to complete Edge of Fate. It's the Final Shape campaign that you need to complete before you can do something in the raid. I think it was the raid. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't feel bad because Bungie also got confused about which is which. Shapes, and fates, shapes, and edges. We just have loads of all of those, and you just get to guess which one is which on any given day.
Yeah. So, portal changes that are important. The Onslaught Midtown, Onslaught Widow's Court, the Coil, and Contest of Elders have all now been moved to Pinnacle Ops. So, if you were looking for those in the Fireteam Ops, they've now moved to Pinnacle Ops. They've increased the frequency at which the Deluge Accelerator will drop energy wells. So there's those little pools of light that most of the activities now seem to come with. And I'm like chasing around the things that before they fall off the edge of cliffs and things. So that's good. In the Encore Pinnacle Ops, the door to the final boss area will now open without needing to wait through the dialogue interaction. Brilliant, because that was fine when we were kind of playing the story and doing the exotic mission last season or episode, and it didn't matter. But now these things are timed. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and that's something like that is fine. Like once, I don't want to have to do it every single time.
Yeah, because you're just running around that room going, "Are you going to stop talking? Can I go through the door? No, I'll go and explore some more Vex bits on the floor."
Yeah.
Is there something I've missed over here for the last time I came in here? No, there isn't. So
I want you to really enjoy the layout of this room. Really look at the wallpaper and the floor textures.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So they fixed an issue where players might not revive consistently in Reclaim and some Pinnacle Ops activities. They fixed an issue where the Pinnacle Ops would not count for some objectives. Fixed an issue where the description for the medieval weapon modifier did not state that it requires new gear armor like other loadout modifiers. Ooh,
yeah, that's important.
That is important because, yeah. They fixed an issue in the Coil where the match game modifier would make immunity shields much more difficult to break than intended. They fixed an issue where completion rewards from the Fallen Saber Conquest were not going directly to the Postmaster. They were going somewhere else. They found them. They've returned them to wherever and the Postmaster. Or no, they were going directly to the Postmaster. Yeah, Fallen Saber Conquest were going directly to the Postmaster. So yeah. we found why they were going to the Postmaster. We stopped the post, and we're now going to give them to you. But if they can still go to the Postmaster, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was before. It's like they were spawning in an area where you weren't, and maybe you couldn't get to. So thus you could not pick them up, and now they're spawning in a place where you can actually reach out and grab them.
Yeah.
So
Desert Perpetual. They fixed something in the Desert Perpetual. Where players completed the Atlas and Almanac quests in the Desert Perpetual Epic before completing the Maps and Territories quest in the normal version, were unable to complete the latter quest, blocking access to the Vendor's Attunement and the Whirling Ovation Catalyst. So they fixed that. So potentially you can do the Epic before you do the normal.
Yep.
Although when I go around the director, it says you can't do the Epic without doing the normal.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing if you join a friend that's just takes you in there.
Yeah.
You have to do it the other way around.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it says about the state of the game, but I saw that they fixed this, and I was a little disappointed about not getting to make maps and territories and jokes every week for the next 6 months when they were still never going to fix this. So I mean, I'm glad they fixed it, but there's a part of me going, "Oh, there goes my silly jokes."
They fixed a really important one with Trials of Osiris. They've fixed an issue that was preventing players from being able to change their glow colors using the flawless passage. Because that's important. You need to know if that person's glowing red, they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And they've also fixed an issue where players could pick up the Trials passage while on a Lighthouse passage with no losses. That was something I did not know about. But hey ho, they fixed it now. Can't do it now. They've added a new Ascendant emblem in competitive. This emblem can be claimed at Shacks if you have been to rank Ascendant 3 or higher at any point this season. They fixed an issue where the slow capture rule set for collision could cause matchmaking to end early. This rule set has been re-enabled in competitive. Oh, that was the one, I think, where you could only get 7 kills, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
It was going to 7 and then ending the game saying, "Congratulations, you did it." And everyone said, "What?"
Yeah. They fixed an issue where the boss would not spawn in the Simulation Safeguard Exo Challenge. That's a really old thing on Europa there. Did not realise that. As
someone had some low-hanging fruit to get to, or they finally made it down to that point of the list. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, maybe it was an easier one now that they've done other things.
I wonder if that's
my strongholds.
Yeah, I wonder if that's blocking progression or something. That just feels like such a weird bug from nowhere. It's like, was that blocking progression on some quest line somewhere? It's like, hey, we need to fix this, otherwise New Lights can't do something. I don't know. Strange.
Maybe. And my strongholds, they're back. They are back, baby. I love the fact that they are back. They reverted the changes. I can now do ultimate difficulties and just stand there and hold my sword and go, "Come at me, bro." And it's glorious. And because they're featured now, this exotic, I can actually use them in any activity. And I'm like, I was going to play my Warlock this week and use some of the Threadling builds and use some of the new turret stuff that's come out. And I'm like, oh, my stronghold's back. And I just stuck on my Titan this week. I do want to get around to my Warlock. I'm neglecting the Hunter only because there's not really much that I want to do with the Hunter at the moment. But Warlock's looking very tasty, but my strongholds are back. So I'm so excited about that. So they've also fixed an issue where the Forge Master melee regen was remaining active after switching off the throwing hammers for the Melas Panopoulos. Oh, that's the gauntlets, isn't it?
Yep, the Thor gauntlets.
Yes. Okay, so they fixed that. That's good. We went over the weapon tuning, so they've fixed the finite impactor last week, spread shot hand cannons, sidearms. They've reduced the heavy burst on those. Exotic weapons. They fixed an issue where the catalyst was not improving draw time and reload speed when striking a target with a hierarchy of needs. Yeah, that's the bow. Weapon fixes fixed an issue where the Antidate submachine gun's red dot sight was slightly off center. Cool.
Always good, because when you're trying to aim, it's important to aim where you think you're aiming.
Yeah. They fixed an issue where bolt charge could not be discharged with a glaive melee. That's good. Hunters, they've increased the Hunter default sprint speed from 8 milliseconds to 8.6 milliseconds, and even faster if you put on Radiant Dance Machines. I don't know if you've seen this. There's a couple of videos going around. I think Lucky 10p made one. If you wear Radiant Dance Machines, you're walking at sprint speed, and then you can go even faster when you actually try and run as well. So you're sprinting round with Radiant Dance Machines in the Crucible, shooting people at sprint speed. It's ridiculous by just walking around. So there is a Hunter thing there that I could do, but
it's basically a Hunter Go Fast update, and also it's meters per second, not milliseconds. They're moving in 8 meters per second versus 8.6. I don't know why I'm correcting the man who lives in Metric Town on how meters work, but those are meters.
Is it okay? Look, when somebody puts that, I think milliseconds.
I mean, if you want to look at distance, and speed by milliseconds, if you know how many milliseconds you're driving in your car, I mean, that's on you. But the rest of us, I would think it would be meters per second. It would be a little more valuable in how fast is this person going relatively.
Fine, fair enough. I don't care. Hunter's passive non-sprinting movement speed bonus increased from old tier 4 mobility to old tier 10 mobility. In PvP modes, this bonus is equivalent to old tier 7 in PvP. Hunters now have a 10% bonus weapon equip speed. In PvP mode, this bonus is 5%. Warlocks now have an innate 10% bonus to passive grenade energy recharge, and it's 5% additive bonus to grenade damage, benefits halved in PvP. Titans, unarmed melee deals 20% increased damage against PvE combatants, and the damage increase is 5% against PvP players. That's still pretty good. Towering and rally barricades taunt PvE combatants in front of the barricade. Now, this is something I saw you pick up on. That didn't they say that this was the case a long time ago?
Hey, I'm so confused. I'm like, because didn't this come with the Edge of Fate or like close thereafter? Like, hasn't this been in the game all this time? Have our barricades not actually been taunting anyone through anything for the last couple of seasons? I read this and was just so confused. Like, because like it doesn't say we fixed it or we've tweaked it or we've changed it. Just, hey, it's a thing now.
It does say note Titan passive trait bonuses have been live since October 8th, 2024 in update 8.1.0.
Yeah,
but maybe in front of the barricade they weren't taunted enough. Who knows?
Yeah, and like I'm just so confused by this because like it just says both barricades now taunt PvP combatants in front of the barricade. Note the passive bonus has been live for a year. So what did you do in this patch note then? Like I'm so confused because again, like it doesn't say it adjusts it or changes it in any way. It's just, hey, was it only the one barricade and not the other barricade for a year?
They ramped up the taunt. Maybe it taunts them even more.
Yeah, maybe it taunts them a second time. I have no idea. I'm just so confused by this entire note. I'm like, oh, okay. So something is different about the barricade taunting? Possibly.
Yeah.
It hopefully taunts now.
Hunters, you've got a long list here. You've class ability. Marksman dodge now picks up nearby ammo bricks on activation. Now reloads all weapons on activation. Strand, your suspend slam aspect no longer increases cooldown duration after use. Suspending slam now gives woven mail. Duration scales with the number of enemies suspended. Threaded spectre aspect increased fragment slots from 2 to 3. That's always a good thing when they increase those. Solar, on your marks aspect, stacks on your marks now give weapon stats. Max of 50 weapon stacks at 10 stacks. Still grants previous reload benefits. Rescaled stack count to max of 10 stacks. Precision hits now give 1 stack, and precision final blows now give 2 stacks. Final blows at 10 stacks now cure you. Precision final blows at 10 stacks no longer give radiant. Deadshot Super now refunds ammo on Golden Gun final blows instead of ignitions. Now extends the super duration on Golden Gun final blows. Energy diminishes with final blows, grants less in Crucible. Now, I've seen quite a few videos of this with the Deadshot Super. There's no diminishing. I think I've saved a video to show people later on that they'd gone into Shirochi, and you know the little thralls that come out the doorway? They popped their super and they just kept going. They cleared the whole room. It just with a golden gun, just shooting them, and there was no diminishing at all. It just went on forever, and then they take you into the shooting range, and so there is a whole build for it. But it looks really cool for kind of ad clear as well. Just amazing.
Wild to think of Golden Gun as an ad clear super.
Oh, Sneaky Beaver! It was Sneaky Beaver, infinite roaming golden gun. So you've got that to look forward to later on.
Very sneaky.
He was sneaky. Where do we get to? Stasis. Grim Harvest aspect. Stasis shards creation no longer has a cooldown in PvE. Arc combination blows melee. Fixed initially where the combination blows wasn't consistently activating, so that's good. Prismatic gunpowder gamble aspect. Fixed initially where the final blows were with non-solar weapons were not granting gunpowder gamble stacks. Stylus Executioner aspect, fixed an issue where the Threaded Spike and Withering Blade melees would not apply weaken after activating this aspect. Warlocks. This is the good one for Warlocks. Constructs. The following Warlock constructs now count as grenades for stats and perks. So the Ionic Sentry, Arc Soul, Helion, Bleak Watcher, and Child of the Old Gods now just count as grenades. It's amazing there are so many builds out there now. With I think Fallout's done one. I've got in the list of videos to check out. Just looks so cool. And somebody actually did the testing of, who was it?
No, it was either Maven or Profane Gaming. I think I have videos.
Profane.
This week. Yeah.
Yes, it was Profane. Yeah, Profane Gaming did the testing. They tested all the new Warlock Buddy changes to You Don't Have To for the Asher 9 update. Yeah, so yeah. Void, Chaos Accelerant aspect. Chaos Accelerant now grants 2 grenade charges. Scatter grenades. Charged grenades now create 4 more Seekers. Increase the Charge Seeker damage versus combatants by 25%. Improve Charge Seeker tracking versus combatants. And increase the Charge Seeker lifetime. Axiom Bolts. Charge grenade now detonates twice. Increase the charge projectile damage versus combatants by 25%. Reduce the projectile speed when tracking enemies by 40%. Vortex. Change the grenade vortex now repeatedly pulls enemies into it. Against enemy players, pull strength is reduced over time. I did see that somebody did post that there was an issue with one of these grenades. I think it must be the Vortex one. That it will pull in red bars, but it will push out yellow bars. So I think it's something that they've raised to Bungie.
Yeah, I saw that too, and that one I don't remember who it was. But yeah, it might have been Cheese. I can't remember now. But
yeah, I think it might have been Cheese.
Yeah, because they were standing in the shooting ranges, going, note when the knights jump in here, it like pushes them out of the grenade, which is not the point.
Spike grenade, suppressor grenade, and void wall grenade all now charge into handheld supernova. So they weren't doing that before, they now do it. The stasis glacial harvest aspect. This change to the aspect to remove the stasis shard creation cooldown in PvE will be released in update 9.1.5.1 this upcoming Tuesday. So that's good. So that one, I don't know why it's in there. Why? Okay.
Yeah, maybe that was one of the things.
Maybe they were going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, was going to release and didn't. So they're saying, "Hey, it's coming next week. We think, we hope, we believe."
Yeah.
Which might be good given how Titans are taking to the friendly skies with stasis these days.
No, this is just for Warlocks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the stasis anythings because it's stasis.
Strand, Weavewalker aspect, tuned movement on Weavewalker enter and exit. Prismatic, pocket singularity melee, fix an issue where sliding with the lightning surge equip could cause players to lose additional melee charges. Now we're getting to the Titans. Titans, Shiver Strike, stasis and prismatic melees. Whiffed attacks now return a flat 80% energy in PvE and 40% in PvP. I think that's the one where people are now flying around in the Crucible. If you spec into like 100% melee, I think it is, you can just literally constantly fly around. I think that was, I think I saw Lucky 10p show a video to start off with, but then Cheese has put out a video today, I believe, going over how to do it. Going
over the, I say build or, process is not much of a process, but and then you can just Shiver Strike forever and just fly across PvP, PvE. I'm waiting for the first Titan to snipe me from up top somewhere in Crucible. Going, I've scaled all the way up here to heights previously unreachable, and now I can just snipe you from way above.
Yeah. So we've got Howl of the Storm aspect. Now grants 2 melee charges. Changed stasis crystal spawn pattern and added 4 more crystals. And now slows enemy players instead of freezes them. The Cryoclasm aspect increases the fragment slot from 2 to 3. And reduce long slide cooldown from 4 seconds to 2. Tectonic Harvest aspect. Stasis shard creation no longer has a cooldown in PvE. Void, Unbreakable Void and Prismatic aspects. Reduce the grenade energy drain speed when holding shield. Reduce forward movement slowdown when the shield is hit by an attack. Increase the fragment slot from 2 to 3. Blast now disorientates enemies for a short time. And the Bastion aspect no longer increases the cooldown time in PvE. They've done the change to special ammo meters in Crucible now. So for no or low gains in primary ammo weapons, final blows give you 33%. Ammo generation in the shooting range is now enabled for combatants in the shooting range. They fixed some UI and UX stuff. So they've updated the weapon stat description to display the correct PvP bonus damage values which were previously adjusted in update 9.004. Fixed an issue where the mod icons were low quality than intended. Quests and pursuits. They fixed an issue where some players were unable to complete the reclaimed data seasonal challenges. Players missing these challenges will now be able to acquire data pads that they have not picked up before. Fixed an issue where players who had already unlocked the tower could not progress through the A Guardian Rises. That's very important to do other things, so that's good for new players. They fixed an issue where Banshee 44 only had 2 daily bounties available. He now has... don't know, haven't visited him.
He now has his full complement again, the 4 or 5 or whatever it had. Basically back to where we were before they made the change to give him 2, and then a third one you could buy forever, but wouldn't give it to you, and then you could buy it once. So now he's back to having his full complement of daily bounties if you're visiting him for any reason.
I thought that they were removing those from Banshee with the Edge of Fate.
Maybe they intended to. Who knows?
Because I thought that's the whole reason. They were getting rid of all the reward tracks. They were getting rid of all the bounties, and it was just going to be part of the portal now.
Yeah.
Really confusing.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing, but no, he does have his, because I went this week just to see what happened. If he had, honestly, I was using it as a way to just dump some glimmer to pick up glimmer out of the seasonal track just so it would stop flashing at me. Because I could just throw 3,000 glimmer at him for nothing, and he would give me nothing in return. I'm like, great, I can just buy this bounty forever that doesn't do anything. So
yeah,
I
wish I could change.
Back.
I wish I could kind of turn glimmer into enhancement cores. Maybe for a large stack, I wouldn't care. I'd just throw them at Rahul and go, have the whole have all my glimmer, and I'll just convert it into one enhancement core. I don't care. Just because the glimmer just rains when you don't need it. It just completely rains, and you're like, oh, I can't even pick it up. But then when you start infusing and using stuff, it drains very quickly.
Yep. Yeah, it would be nice to do something else with it, but as opposed to just sitting at full glimmer most of the time. But here we are.
Yeah. They've also fixed an issue where Banshee 44's repeatable bounties could be purchased after the held cap for those bounties had been reached. They fixed an issue where some platform achievements could not be completed. Belly of the Beast can now be completed in Portal Master activities, and the Presage can now be completed in the Portal Grand Master activities. Ooh. They fixed an issue where some temporary VOs had been replaced. I thought they were going to do what I was saying about the audio issues with like the Dolby Digital and stuff. No, not fixed that one just yet. So the temporary voiceovers have now been replaced in Ash and Iron. Lovely.
Good.
Now, the one that I was really confused at, you sent me a picture of and said, oh, look, they've changed the Iron Banner set. So originally it was called the Iron Beryllium set, has now been renamed to the Iron Forge Valor set. So I was like, all ready to kind of tell people this. And then if you actually go to your armor sets in-game, it's not even called that now. It's called the
Iron Panoply.
Iron Panoply set. And I thought, oh, maybe it's called Iron Panoply for my Titan, something else for the Warlock, because that's what they do sometimes. They name different ones for.
Yeah.
No, across the board, Iron Panoply set.
So are the perks still the perks in game are Vigilant Watch and Iron Conviction? Did they also break those? We updated the armor's description, flavor text, and set bonuses to match the updated visuals. Well, if the updated you got the name wrong of what you told us you were going to do. So in game, at least, the 2-piece Vigilant Watch, it's the Iron Panoply set. So the 2-piece bonus is called Vigilant Watch. As your health gets lower, your weapons gain increased stability and handling. Weapon final blows while your shields are depleted heal you. Good. Great. The 4-piece is Iron Conviction. When your shields become broken, you gain increased ammo generation, flinch resistance, and damage resistance against nearby combatants for a short time. Final blows extend this effect, which feels like what they told us they were going to be, but I'm not. Who can keep track at this point? But that's as of today. Those are the 2 set bonuses and the name of the set. Will that be the same tomorrow? Tune in to find out.
Now, the thing that I complained about before on the track that they said that was there, or they said that was going to be included with this past Iron Banner, was a shader. But apparently they've added the Iron Banner shader that we should have got called Iron Valus for players to claim from Lord Shax. So You've got to go visit Shaxx in the tower to go and get that. But I don't know what the requirements are, whether if you've had to have played Iron Banner, completed X amount of things in Iron Banner, or if it's just there anyway. So, and I didn't realise that. I hadn't read that far down before. Otherwise, I would have gone visit him before I came on the show to tell you. So,
I definitely read it and glossed over that was Shaxx and not, Saladin
Valis
or
Forge,
Valis Forge, depending on what day it is.
Yeah.
So why does Shaxx? I mean, we know why Shaxx has the Iron Banner shader, because we're just never going to get another Iron Banner again, apparently.
Please don't upset me. They fixed an issue where the primer shader was not appearing in collections. They fixed an issue where the point of divergence Sparrow from the Reclamation reward pass was not appearing in collections. The name of the ship on the Ash and Iron reward pass has been changed from Renegade Leader to Autonogis. So my ship's been changed. I'm now not Renegade. Or is that... Oh, Renegade... Yeah. Because the Renegade Leader is the X-Wing one. So,
Right,
I did notice that, on the reward track that they were both called Renegade Leader. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with your pronunciation. I don't know.
Yep.
Auto-Gnosis.
Yeah.
Sure.
They fixed an issue where the Tusk Allegiance cloak armor was missing its cape. The Hot Toss emote featured alongside the Ascendant Flow skimmer pack has been removed from the Eververse. All existing and future owners of the Ascendant Flow skimmer pack will instead be able to claim this emote as a bonus from the special deliveries at the launch of Renegades. Existing owners of this emote will also receive a silver refund for the emote's cost at a later date. No idea what that was.
Yeah, I feel like there's maybe I feel like I saw something in reference to it, like maybe a couple weeks back, about it breaking the game in some way or doing something, or it may just be one of those Eververse put it in the store and for I don't know. I remember seeing something about Hot Toss, and now I can't recall. I didn't really think of it at the time, but I remember, I don't know, saw something about it, which is totally unhelpful. I saw a thing. What? I don't know what the thing was.
There was a thing, and we looked at the thing, and yeah. So it was called Hot Toss, was it?
Yeah.
Let me just have a look, see if I've... Oh, okay, so it's just throwing around a taken ball, and it burns your hands, and you throw it. It's a multiplayer remote, so you just throw it backwards and forwards. Okay.
Yeah. So I wonder if it was released too early. Just like what? Why?
Yeah.
And of course, when I try to search for anything on Hot Toss Destiny emote, I get Fortnite things and other things that I shouldn't mention that show up in results.
Yeah.
So
that's why I kind of, whenever there's an Eververse update, I'll go in and I record all the Eververse items. So not for kind of anything like this ever happened before. It's just like, oh, okay, I did record it and put it in my little file of, if it comes up in Eververse for Bright Dust, here it is. This is what it looks like.
Yep. And now you can't have it. So
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, they added it in the Edge of Fate. So why? I don't know. Reasons. Because reasons.
Yeah. Special deliveries at the launch of Renegades. Okay, so you get it back in Renegades?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Okay, fair enough. And they fixed an issue where the holochip extractors were not properly removing holochips introduced in Ash and Iron. And that's it. That's your update 9.1.5 that went live this past week.
All the changes, all the things.
Yes. And then we had more changes that were before This Week in Destiny that we were told on the 9th of October. But we can go into that because they do tell us again in the TWAB this week. So This Week in Destiny, go play Heliostat because you really need to go and play it, apparently. It's live. Go and get your axe, do your exotic mission. How are you feeling about our latest exotic mission? Did you have a good time with it? Did you have fun with your new psionic buddies that Keitel sent to assist you? Are you enjoying your Wolfsbane exotic axe sword?
TBD? Because guess who hasn't had time to run the exotic mission this week? I saw it went live. I knew it went live. I've seen people's reaction to it in the weapon going live. But I have had no time to play this week and have barely done any of my Armors Week stuff. So I have not actually set foot into the new exotic mission yet. So I'm interested maybe in getting, again, it's one of those, I'm curious to pick it up, but I'm not salivating over having this big giant axe sword.
Yeah. I mean, I was quite excited because with my strongholds being back, I was like, will it do anything with the strongholds? I can confirm it does absolutely nothing. I mean, we did read through the descriptions last week of the weapon, and I didn't actually take it in, but one of the things says, that its traditional guard is disabled in favor of offensive capabilities, and that is for all the different handles on it. So you can't guard at all. So my strongholds are absolutely useless with it. So maybe there'll be a different exotic that comes along at some other point that makes it worth it. But so at the moment, this week, you'd have to play it 3 times. You play it through initially to get the weapon. You then go back through, and I'm not sure whether you can get the catalyst at the same time that you can get the intrinsics, because all the intrinsics are available, and they do tell you this in the TWAB, for the weapon. But the catalysts, I think, are going to be 1 per week. So you can get 1 this week, but it says starting next week, the remaining catalysts will be available for everyone to discover. Look carefully and you'll find all the secrets available. So maybe they're all going to be available next week.
Yeah, I saw some people,
which is interesting.
Yeah, I saw some people, of course, moaning about having to wait to do anything because no one.
But that's what it's always been with when they've done these exotic missions, and we've been able to craft them. You have to go in and get, even when we weren't able to craft them. Like I think with, I want to say Whisper, but then that was then made into something crafting, wasn't it? But I think originally you had to go into the Whisper mission, complete it, and then you had to complete it on the hardest difficulty to get the catalyst for it. So we've always had to go back into those exotic missions and do things, and over time we've had to go in, get the weapon, then go back through on a different difficulty, or just replay it again to get a catalyst 1 week, and then they release second catalyst the next week, third, and however many catalysts there are or parts to it. So
right, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's an exotic mission. It's always been a multi-part, multi-run, multi-week thing. That, of course,
we've always complained.
There's no right, yeah, right. Because of course, there's just no patience for anything. I have to wait to get a thing. Why don't you give it all to me now? It's like because you just have to wait a minute.
Yeah,
give people a chance to run it first before you've run it 16 times and already told everybody whether it's worth it or not. Some of us are busy.
It was all right. As exotic missions go, I wasn't bowled over by it, and I wasn't. At the moment, I'm not really bowled over with the weapon. It's new, it's different. It's not overpowered as some exotics kind of come into the game and are amazing. I'm not sure whether that's to the detriment of Destiny at the moment. I think if they'd have made it overpowered, it may have got more people interested in coming and playing in and taking it into various different activities and got like the player count up a slight bit. But yeah, it's from what I've heard, a lot of people are complaining about it, that it's quite short. It's easy, it's this, it's that, and the weapon isn't amazing. I'm like, I can see where you're coming from, and it is what it is, unfortunately. And I think this is the likelihood of what we're going to have to accept at the moment, that Bungie is able to produce. Like, we're not going to get full on like Whisper of the Worm or the Outbreak Perfected one with Trevor and in the tower and things. Those things aren't able to be done at this point in time. They may come back and be phenomenal exotic missions, but this one, short and sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I heard a number of people saying, because like this is one of the things that was delayed, like a month to come out, and people were basically I saw people saying well, what was it delayed for? And I think the answer is obviously because something was broken about it. Unfortunately, it's not a I think when people see delays, they think, oh, they're making it better, they're improving it, they're adding. It's like, no, it was probably something like, this is just not ready to go out the door. Something is broken enough with it that we cannot ship it in its current state. Which again, like to your point, is sort of I think where we're at in terms of what's able to be produced and what the studio is able to put out right now, and what QA is able to get in a workable state. Which is,
I think
it's like recalibrate your expectations a little bit.
I think the problem is with recalibrating your expectations is that we are paying like the same price that we have been paying for kind of expansions over a long period of time, going back to Beyond Light, Forsaken, Witch Queen. They've all been around the same price of expansions. And
Yeah.
for the price that we paid for this one, we haven't got nearly as much as some of the other expansions. And I know Forsaken is one of those very rare ones because it had Bungie had two other studios helping them out, and they were well over capacity for employees at the time.
Yeah.
But I think that's the frustrating part. And I know we've said over time, we would be still willing to pay for X, Y, and Z. And as long as Destiny at some point was going to get better, we would take a reduced season and still pay X, Y, and Z to get better in the future. But I think we need Bungie to come out and tell us that that's the plan at the moment. We're going to have a couple of years of these light seasons or light expansions, but they will be building to things that are bigger than Forsaken. I know they probably can't say that at this point of time, which is why maybe we've got a delay in this roadmap, because we're now a month from when they said, roadmap's coming, and still no
Right.
roadmap.
Yeah.
Even though I've seen clickbait videos out there where people have put on roadmap, and I'm like,
Mhm.
no, there's no roadmap.
No,
Nobody
you
said anything
haven't.
about a roadmap.
Right. You're going to sit here and tell us that one's coming, that they've talked about it, or maybe you're going to speculate on what it is. But guess
Yeah.
what? I don't care what you, person who is not Bungie, says Bungie's roadmap is. You know who I care about seeing it from? Bungie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and like I honestly wonder at this point, is it a trying to calibrate? Can we put out a roadmap that is equal parts realistic and truthful, and that doesn't make everyone look at it and go, okay, we're totally done? Because I think people want to see, we're coming out with that Forsaken level 2 extra studios helping us. Here is all the content. Here's the amazing things you're going to get. I think that's what I think people are maybe expecting from this roadmap, from this announcement. Like, here's the return to the golden age. Here's all the things you're getting. It's like, no, that's not what this is going to be at all.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, I mean, literally, here is what to expect. Here is the, I won't say minimum, but I mean, here is the, reduced version of what you're going to see.
Well, I think that's the problem.
Here's when we're going to push this out. But
they're so scared to put something on a roadmap because they know the Bungie community will hold them to it. Because when we've had not roadmaps, but kind of, this is what is coming this season. And I'm talking about like back about 2 or 3 years ago when they actually put out, this is everything that's coming each week for this season. And when things started to go wrong and they started to having to push back and delay things that they'd even put on this calendar that we had for the seasons, the community went stupid over it. It was like, oh my God, this is unacceptable. It's like, well, no, obviously they found issues. They need to kind of sort things out. And I think that's what they're terrified at the moment. They're kind of damage control, and then they don't want to tell us too much, but they want to tell us as much as they can without having to hold their feet over the fires of like, you told us this is going to happen then. But I think that's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge part of it, and just like a roadmap. I think people see roadmap and they see like absolutely this is what you're getting. Like this is the release calendar. This is the what you're gonna see absolutely guaranteed list of things happening. It's like, no, a roadmap is what we're gonna hope to deliver to you. We've looked into the future and said, here's what we think we can do and when we think we can do it. The roadmap is not the set in stone. Hey, this movie comes out on the 19th of October. Woo! It's, hey, over the next couple of months, here's what we think we can put out. Here's what we have slated to put out. This is not set in stone. It's a best guess. I mean, try to estimate anything. Humans, we're not great at estimating things. Trying to estimate what can this team of people put out over the next couple of months. It's like, well, if everything goes great and there's no unforeseen issues, here's what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not how the world works. That's not life. There's going to be unforeseen issues. You know why? Because they're unforeseen. So we're going to have some version of this. And I just the way sentiment is right now, like they're screwed if they do and screwed if they don't. There's just no way.
Yeah.
Whatever they say, it's going to have people moaning about it. Like it can either be, hey, you're getting everything, or you're getting nothing, and everything in between, and people are just going to moan about it no matter what. So I think you're right. It's like saying anything is just going to lead to wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah,
so
and I think
what do you do?
People need to understand the difference between the roadmap and a calendar, because I think some people, from what I've heard, are a bit confused of what's actually going to be available or coming or whatever. And I think the best way to visualize it basically is with Marvel. When you see Kevin Feige go up on stage and he goes, look at this slide. This says this film's coming out here. This film's coming out here. This film may come out in 2030. This one may come out in 2032. And they put the names up of the Marvel films that they potentially have slated for, that we've just found out that the one next summer has kind of just been removed, and I think they've put the Simpsons movie 2 in that slot from Disney. So it's like things can change on a roadmap, and
literally unplayable.
Yeah, it can be deleted, just disappear. I mean, we had that with Destiny 1. They had a roadmap for various different things that then they took out, and we've seen some of those things kind of come back in Destiny 2. But I think for the Destiny version of that is when they came out and said, right, you're going to get Witch Queen, Beyond Light, or is it Beyond Light, Witch Queen, and then Lightfall? And then we didn't know we were going to get the final shape after that. But they just showed us those 3 images of those posters and said, this is the order of things that are going to be coming. And that's it. And it's going to be more along those kind of lines. It's not going to be a calendar of, well, next week you're going to have this. The week after you're going to have that. Maybe in December when Renegades releases, you'll have this in this week, this in the next week, that in the next week. The calendar is going to be, whatever they kind of do, which, I'll talk about that in a second. But
but I mean, honestly, but that's putting in the Marvel context. That's a perfect way to talk about it. And Marvel says, we're looking at the 2030. We're saying this is coming up eventually later. Here's what we think we can put out in 2030. There's a lot of time between now and then. And obviously we're not talking about 2030, we're talking about 2025, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then maybe 30 if we get there.
Yeah.
But I had the moment of realization of, we're closer than I thought to that.
Yeah.
It's only another 5 years away. But still, but the same thing applies. It's we're hoping to achieve this, where we think we can do this. Here, you sit down and you, dear listener, make a prediction, on where you're going to be in the next year, and then in a year check in and go, well, did we get there? Were we anywhere close to our guess? Pick a point in your life or in your work or something, and say, here's where I want to be in a year. See how that plans out. And now try to do that with 80 other people and see where you get to. Like it's it's not easy to make these, to try to roadmap out a thing. And Bungie, we know leadership has not led to good things. We know leadership has not been good leaders or stewards of this franchise at all.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get what we're going to get, and it's going to be what it's going to be. It's not going to be everything. It's not going to be incredible. It's going to be hopefully a truthful accounting of, hey, here's what the expansions are going to look like after Renegades. Here's what we're going to see. I mean, even just, I'd be happy with just like, hey, here's when we're getting Iron Banners again. Like, here's when we're going to bring those back. So you can, people talk about, planning the day one raids, and obviously those are important and take a lot more time in planning. But it would just be nice to know, hey, when's Iron Banner going to be up? That's a week I would really like to spend some quality time in Destiny. It would be nice to know when those are happening, just so you can plan out, hey, this thing's going to be available this week. Let me get my buddies together and let's run this. Hey, this thing to be available that week. Let me make sure I can take the weekend off of work, or, take a day off and go play if I want to. Just knowing what's upcoming so you can sort of plan, for those of us who are not playing 24/7, can plan a little bit on what's coming up and when, I want to make sure I can enjoy it. If Arms Week's up for a week and I really want to do Arms Week, let me know when it's happening so I can plan for it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me started on Arms Week. Last week I was talking to you about where Iron Banner had the same weapons on the reward track that we had. I think it was Arms Week the first week, or it might have been Heavy
Mhm.
Metal.
Yeah.
With those weapons, they've done it again with like the sincere, the sword,
Yeah.
the sword and the shotgun, and
Mhm.
it's the thing. It's not even they haven't even upgraded the tiers from what we got last time. So on the reward track, they were a tier 3, and they were shiny. They were holofoils, but they are exactly the same. Exactly same masterworks. Exactly the same everything apart from the power level. That's the only thing that is different is the power level. They're just it's really frustrating that they haven't gone, well, okay, tier 3 the first time it kind of comes around. Maybe we'll give them a tier 4 or a tier 5 so that there are more options, so that if you did get it the first time, it's a better version on this track. But they haven't even done that. I mean, the sword, for instance, has got binary orbit, sharp harvest, balance guard, and tempered edge, and that's it. It's a static roll, and that it just makes no sense for them to keep doing the same thing over and over again on those reward tracks. Just if you didn't play it the first time, you haven't really lost out. Maybe there was an emblem like the first time, but it could be there if you didn't complete it last time. So, because I completed it last time, I don't know. So,
Yeah, right. Like, 'cause I kind of feel like they sort of made a big deal out of the Arms Week. It's like, Arms Week is back. Remember Arms Week, guys? Hey, it's coming back, and we're doing this. And this is again one of those things where I have to wonder, like everything else is since Edge of Fate. Did you have a plan to, was it like, hey, we're going to release this? Was there a plan to update some of this? And then obviously because of how Age of Fate was received and more layoffs and, just the course of events since then, has that just not happened? Or was this the plan all along to basically say, hey, if you missed one Arms Week, don't worry about it because the rewards are going to be the same on every Arms Week. If you don't really care about hand cannons, just wait until the shotguns are up and then you can do the same thing, which, I mean, I could almost see making an argument for just going, hey, here's a thing, you'll get the same rewards, don't worry if you missed out. I just, again, it's something we're never going to know until, somebody writes the tell-all book or the tell-all podcast in a couple of years on how things really went down. But yeah, it feels like something they sort of hyped up and then didn't really deliver on, which, may be the subtitle of The Edge of Fate at this point.
yeah. But and the other thing I was kind of disappointed about, and I kind of half guessed last week when I was saying, okay, we're going through like a calendar, and for example of differences between calendars and roadmaps, even on the gamepost.com, they've got a page on the pre-Renegades roadmap, everything coming before Star Wars themed expansion in December 2025, and going over the leaks that we've had for Fest of the Lost. It's not a roadmap, guys. That's not a roadmap. You're misleading people by saying it's a roadmap. It's a calendar of events that are coming up, not a roadmap.
Yeah, that stuff is done. That's that's done. That's decided. That's in the can. That's shipped. That's they just they put live into the game. That's not forecasting out into the future.
Yeah.
Words mean things. And I sort of had the same reaction you did. It's like, here's the roadmap. I'm like, no, it's not. That's a calendar of events.
Yeah, they're saying it's the content roadmap. I know they're not saying it's the roadmap, but it's a content roadmap. It's a calendar. So, for example, 300 power level catch up. That's going to be next week. Fest of the Lost starts on October 21st and ends on November 4th. And then the week after that, we've got the Call to Arms, which isn't the same as Arms Week. And that starts on November 11th and runs until December 1st. So that runs up until we get Renegades. But yeah, it's really frustrating looking at those things. And I was I preempted myself last week and I said, maybe we'll get an Iron Banner this upcoming week because there's nothing scheduled for this upcoming week. It's kind of Arms Week finishes. Yes, everybody's going to get the power bump. There's going to be a few more things in the portal that have changed that we can kind of quickly go over again, but we have already spoken about that a long time ago, but we'll just refresh people. But next week would have been perfect in between. So if people didn't want to play Arms Week, they could still come back for Iron Banner next week. And then potentially we're not going to get Iron Banner for the 2 weeks, and that's really annoying that it's only 2 weeks for our Halloween event. That ends, and then a week after that, it then jumps into Call to Arms. But at no point at the moment have they said where there's an Iron Banner. There's not, oh, Festival of the Lost ends on November 4th, but then the week in between, you're going to get another Iron Banner, or Iron Banner's going to come somewhere in between in the Call of Arms. So
Right.
it's really, really frustrating.
And this is the calendar we're talking about, the calendar of when this, Iron Banner, they don't have to build it. They don't have to deliver it. They don't have to go and check in with take it back to the team and say, hey guys, when do we think Iron Banner will be done? You just have to put it in the game, guys. You just have to put it in the game and we'll play it.
And seeing as they were talking about refreshing the Finite Impactor last week and saying this upcoming week, it's going to be changed in update 9.1.5, which has now kind of gone live. But like we said last week, we deleted those weapons because 1, they're hand cannons, and 2, they weren't that good at all for us to. And it was all the videos that we saw about it. Nobody was raving about it. So on recommendation from everybody was kind of just get rid of it.
Yeah, it was just like I think again, I think I talked about watching Fallout and Astrocross trying to play Astrocross to try to be like, well, maybe, and Fallout's like, no, man, it's like it's just not a good weapon.
Yeah,
and then so then you push a change, which again, good. Like I'm never going to say no, don't improve a weapon, but then just don't. It'd be nice to say, hey, we're pushing this change to Final Impactor, and hey, it's going to come back alongside, insert other weapon here on insert date here. It'd be nice to say, hey, and it's coming back, so take your opportunity to farm some rolls and the new, whatever else we're going to put with it, or the other reprise weapon we're going to add, and have a date with it, as opposed to just like, hey, we fixed this. I know most of you deleted it, except for, the obligatory one person out there that's their favorite weapon. And then just not put it back in the game for a while. It just seems like a weird, again, like I'm not going to say don't improve weapons, don't fix weapons who could use some help, but and then just not give people, not be able to marry that with, hey, now go get one. Hey, hey, we made it better. Go get some rolls of it this upcoming week of whatever.
Yeah.
It's did they look at the numbers and just see nobody played Iron Banner? Which, I mean, I feel like at this point, anything is better than what you're doing, because that's not working either. It's really confounding. Like his trials doing that well. Spoiler, I'm sure it's not. That you don't want to give up another trials week.
Maybe. It's
just very strange. The whole thing is just like it does just feel like, symptoms of not having enough people to get everything done and coordinate and schedule and get it all out the door in a timely fashion.
Yeah. And if we're not going to have Iron Banner, why not extend Festival of the Lost? I say extend. Have Festival of the Lost like we've had Festival of the Lost for all these years. I'm just not getting this. Let's cut these events down by even another week of people playing by a week. So it's
right. It's like, what? I mean, really, in at this point, what else is, like, if there's not a weekly event going on, what else is there? For people to do. If there's not a weekly event to come in and say, hey, this, creating a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of, hey, if you want to come in and jump in and do this, here's the thing you can play this week versus the same 8 portal activities you've done since Edge of Fate launched. Like you really need some draw every week to come in and play, because I mean, like, moving the onslaught and stuff to the pinnacle thing is good. I mean, that's all, like, again, all good changes, but it's just like, I mean, I don't want to say too little too late, but kind of too little too late for numbers. I mean, just trying to load into the Arms Day hardware thing. I played a little bit of that earlier this morning before we recorded, just to try to get some of that done. Just sitting and waiting for 12 Guardians. Like, again, just sitting and waiting. We were at 8 and then we were at 10 for a while. I'm like, I don't know what the matchmaking parameters are, but it can't be anything too crazy on a no abilities playlist where we're all trying to get shotgun kills for the most part.
Yep.
it just like I think I got 2 matches in, maybe 3 in the hour. Like it was so
It goes so slow, doesn't it? And the one of the gilding parts of it is to win games, and you have to win at least 10 games to finish off gilding it.
Right.
I think I've played about 5 or 6 games because I played it when it initially launched for a couple of matches, and I thought, oh, I'm not liking, like, I think I got Supremacy the first match, and then I got Control the second. I was like, oh, I like Control a little bit better than I do like Supremacy. But then one of the challenges or to get the tokens for the event is go and play hardware. And I'm like, okay, I can go and play hardware. 25% for one match. And you're like, I've got to play 4 of these to just get that one token. Just complete that to get that one. 2 matches at best. You know, it's not fun. And
No,
I'm not winning games. I'm just getting steamrolled, and it's not a fun game mode at all. It's not fun like Heavy Metal was kind of fun, but
I mean, Heavy Metal was at least a little bit. You know, it was something new. There was some novelty to it. I mean, I saw the Auric Disabler was up in Trials this week. Speaking of Trials, and I did play, for like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe last night at like midnight, jumping in this and just going, let me sit here. It was like 10 or 10:30. I was like, let me jump on and just play a little bit of Trials. I see it's up this week. I would like some rolls. I didn't get. I got a couple of the Everburning Glitzes, but none of them were particularly good. So I was like, let me get some rolls of the Arc Disabler. Let me just jump in and see if I can get some to drop for me. And I got a good number to drop. Some of them are, decent.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I had a better experience playing Trials than I did playing hardware. Like, like the matchmaking was quicker. By and large, the matches were pretty well balanced. Again, I was playing on the I'm not going to the lighthouse card because I'm not going to the lighthouse. I have neither the time nor the patience nor the skill level to get there. But just playing those matches, felt pretty decent. And with the sort of the same loadout I've been running on the Warlock forever, and sadly no longer 1,000 threadlings. But so I threw the Arc Buddy on and didn't. I really need to sit down and build out some new builds for these characters as well. But yeah, just had a good time jumping in and just going, I don't care if I win or lose. I'm just here to get rolls of this weapon. Sort of what feels like where Destiny excels. I just want to jump in and get a bunch of rolls of, I want to farm this weapon and get some rolls of it. Some of them should be good. And like I got a lot of rolls of it, which felt nice. Like it felt, it's weird that I'm going, Trials feels like the best place to be right now for things I want to do. Cause it's just, there's no, I don't know. Like, again, just coming, we've beaten the Portal to death at this point, but like you really need an event in the Portal to turn the game on.
Yeah. Because the events make a difference to not having to just go and play solo everything. And that's the way I've been playing. I mean, nobody's been on this week, which is, it's really hard because, you turn the game on and you've just got a choice of like Fighting Finder or match-made activities that are just sometimes really annoying with people that just don't understand how it's, I mean, I don't, it's not annoying that, they don't know the activities. It's just that I rather prefer to play with my friends. I don't mind helping people through activities and things by just doing the matchmaking. But the Fighting Finder is just like desert. There's nobody there. Nobody's looking for anything. Nobody wants to do anything. So you are kind of just being pushed to do solo stuff to just get anything done. And if there's not an event that week, the only incentive is to grind your power level, and that is something that isn't that interesting to do. It's interesting when you've got events because you have those little teeny weeny bumps of like, oh, these engrams in this reward track push you up extra higher than what you kind of get in the weekly kind of track, or even going visiting Zavala and picking up the weekly stuff that you can get from the previous week kind of thing. It's like, and that was my frustration with like no Iron Banner next week, and then not having them not reverting the change that they said that that Festival of the Lost is only going to be 2 weeks. It's like, so we're going to have a week of nothing, of yeah, I understand that you are pushing a little update that gets everybody up to 300, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I really don't. And I thought at the beginning of the week when I was writing This Week in Destiny stuff for the video, I thought I'm going to write it that Iron Banner's coming, and then on Thursday when they drop the TWAB, it will just confirm that I was right in guessing that it was next week. When they dropped it, I was like, I'm really annoyed because I've written the stuff, explained like all the way the new portal Iron Banner works, recorded it, and it's not there, and I'm like, oh, now what incentive is there to tell people to come back next week apart from update 9.1.5.1, and you can go and get your other catalysts for the exotic mission? That's like log on Tuesday, grab those things, and you're out for the rest of the week unless you're coming back for trials, unless you're doing something else specific.
Yeah, hop in, get your free bright dust, and then see.
It's a real shame. It really is a shame that it, like you said, it doesn't cost them to activate an activity that's already in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like it's there. Like yeah, you're not. That's why I just don't understand. Like, you're not doing anything. Like, you don't have to do anything to it. Like, again, I don't. I have to go back and re-listen, but I don't feel like there was anything that we really like latched onto. It's like, oh man, I really wish they would fix this or tweak that. I mean, nobody likes eruption, so saying, hey, let's do a control and fortress versus eruption or something. But like beyond that, even if you just bring eruption back, like just bring in the same two modes you had that were there and working, like that should be, other than scheduling it to flipping that node on and doing whatever scheduling the show up in the tower. It's like, why not? It's confusing. When you have things that should be ready to go, that, I mean, again, it's an event. Like they should be. I'd hope there's people sitting in meetings going, okay, here's what we're going to have. We need to have something going on every week between now and Renegades. And then in Renegades, we need to have something, some special, some event, something going on every single week in this game to give people a reason to log on and play it. Whether they do or not, that's out of our hands as Bungie, but at least, hey, here is something going on every single week. Here is a reason to log on that, here's a thing you can only do this week you couldn't do last week. And to not have that, like, it's a hard sell to say, yeah, come in and grind your power level and light. And like, I feel like we're eventually going to get to a spot, maybe by, by the first of the year or something, where power will be in a good spot. Like the progression will be good. The unstable cores will work themselves out. Like we'll have we'll be back to a point where it's understandable what's happening where, and you can reliably tell people here's how to progress. That will both be fun and rewarding. Yeah. But we're still in that, like, we launched Destiny 3 time frame of, we had big ideas, they didn't really pan out, so now we're undoing a lot of that and hemorrhaging players and trying to deal with, a lack of staff and people, and it feels like we're just here an awful lot. Like this feels like it's just part of the life cycle of Destiny at this point of things, I'm trying to remember, like when they launched Armor 3.0 and they had all the different flavors of armor that could only be certain things were void and certain things were arc, and everyone was like, why? Like, you just overly complicated this.
Yeah, the first iteration of
yeah, and we're just sort of in that stage of, this all looked great on paper, I'm sure, but like you've just overly. Sometimes I think they just forget you have to explain to some number of millions of people how all of this works in a way that doesn't require watching YouTube every single day to figure it out. Yeah. Like, understand the game.
The sad thing about like the Halloween event for us, it's been cut down by an extra week. So we've only got a 2-week event. Whereas I've said in past when we've been talking about like with our Festival of the Lost, that Fortnite has a whole month. And I remember playing Fortnite way back when, and it was just the PvE thing, and they did the Fortnitemares thing, and it was just PvE activities. So when it first started, and it was for the whole of October, they still continue to do that. I mean, just for example, this past week they've released their update, the Fortnitemares thing. You get different skins each day when you log in. I think there's Doja Cat, Ghostface, Shaggy and Scooby and the gang. There's the Grabber from Black Phone, Jason Voorhees. Just to entice people to come and play the game, and it's going on for the whole month. I mean, I turned on the Xbox earlier on, and even Call of Duty have got their Halloween event now. It's like, this is the beginning of October. This is when you see all the stuff in like the supermarkets and everywhere else. It's like everybody is thinking Halloween is October, apart from Destiny and Bungie. Every year,
Right.
and it just,
what are we waiting for, guys?
it's really stressful that we've cut down from 3 weeks to 2, and there's no logic behind it, because we've got that extra week. Just
Yeah, and getting back to our discussion, I'm sure on the roadmap when they were going to release Edge of Fate, they said, "Hey, we'll do this. This will be a few weeks." As a way to entice people, as a way to sort of crank up the FOMO, crank up the you had to be here when, and I don't want to be so cynical and say,
No.
well, yeah, they said, oh, well, if we limit the amount of time you can play these activities, it'll force you to play them because you have to be here when, and all this. But again, just seeing how the game has gone and the leadership of Bungie, I can't help but think there's some math in there saying, oh, well, if we cut all these down, we ratchet the FOMO back up. Oh, you have to be here when to play these things. They're only here this week. They're not going to come back. It's until next year and and
yeah,
it's just. It would really be nice to have them say, "Hey, surprise! We're gonna turn this into a monthly event, or we're gonna have a giving us something." And I'm not asking for the world, just a win, just a positive. Hey, we're gonna increase this to 3 weeks. Hey, we're gonna throw in an Iron Banner during it. We're gonna do something. Which again, it's like there's so many levers they can pull, and it just sort of feels like. Are you pulling them? Or are we still in the planning phases to figure out what to pull? Which and I know it's not, we're sitting here going, well, just do this, just do that. And, game devs are going, there is no, make game good button you can press. I know this stuff is complicated. I know there's, we on the outside just see this way oversimplified of what it is, but it just, I don't know. At some point the bleeding has to stop. And you have to get in front of it. It seems like a little bit, but it just I don't know when. I don't know when we're gonna see again. Just like a roadmap or a positive or I don't know, something.
yeah.
Just feels like something.
I'm not going to tell you the roadmap, but I'm going to tell you what's potentially coming up in the calendar. So we have got Fest of the Lost that's coming up, not next week, but the week after. And the things that we definitely know, it starts on October 21st, ends on November 4th. There will be a change in what we're actually doing. So we're not doing Haunted Lost Sectors, but it's called Haunted Altars. And it looks like it's the Altars of Sorrow and Onslaught, apparently. So it seems to be a mix between Altars of Sorrow and Onslaught, the wave-based mode that launched during the Into the Light. It's a multi-tiered activity from 1 to 5 where you'll be collecting and banking treats, building defenses like in Onslaught activities while defending different zones. And the picture that I've got on the game post, and I will link it in the show notes, actually shows that it is in the Altars of Sorrow area on the moon with kind of the candles and the pumpkins. So that's going to be interesting if they can then take that and put that into Onslaught later on and have an Onslaught version of Altars of Sorrow. That would be pretty cool. But it looks like it's a very short version of it. We are going to be getting 3 weapons. So we have 1 returning weapon, which is the Arcane Embrace shotgun. But we're getting the Gunburn, which is a kinetic submachine gun, and the Hushed Whisper, which is a strand combat bow. We'll come back to those in a second. So the armors that we all voted for, a year back, I guess. I think it must have been about a year ago. We are getting Jason Voorhees, which is going to be for your Titans, Slender Man, which is going to be your Warlock set, and La Lorena Hunter set, which is the one that's white and got roses on it. They all look pretty cool. So we are getting characters in Destiny 2, much like with the Fortnightmare stuff. And we're also still getting the masks. The masks are going to be returning. Don't know if it's still going to be you have to put on the mask and to earn candies and get some of the things to drop. I'm guessing that's still going to be the case. And it always irked me beforehand because I always used to run around with the insurmountable skullfort on. So I'd have to take that off to put on the masks to actually get the activity. But now I'm running my strongholds. It's a little bit different because they don't put anything for gauntlets. But for this year, we are getting a Weasel error mask. So just throw it in our faces, Bungie. Just a Weasel error mask. There's a spicy ramen mask, Oryx mask, an Orin mask, a Lodi mask, a Grim mask, a Fungal mask, Failsafe mask, and a Drop Pod mask. So these are the ones that sometimes you can get for Bright Dust. Sometimes they're only available for silver. And if they were available for silver last year, there is a small chance that they come up this year for Bright Dust. And there were a couple of them. And I don't know. When we get closer to like the rotation, we'll be able to see what actually is going to be available. So it's interesting. So yeah, you put your mask on, you go and do your haunted altars, and you get some good stuff. And hopefully it's going to be very, very similar to how we had with the solstice event, that it will really bump up your light. Maybe that's the issue that they're kind of coming across, but then they don't want to push people up too high for more than 2 weeks. I don't know.
That again, that would be a nice way to say, hey, we're giving you this bump to 300. Come in and play this event. It'll really accelerate the power grind. For people who have stepped away or just said, I can't devote the hours to grinding power from 10 to 550. This is your moment. Like, why can't this be like week 1, where you come in and you play this event, and we're gonna sprinkle a tier 5 or 2 around and give you that feeling of, oh, these are good. Like this does feel worth it.
Yeah.
Since you're starting at 300 and moving onward, why is this not the the go fast update for power leveling, so to speak? Why not? It would be nice, it'd be nice if that's the case. I'm excited to play the Onslaught, Altar of Sorrow style, because like the Lost Sectors always just felt like there were so many things running around in there, but you're again just competing with each other for kills, and it's such a small space. I love the idea of being outside and it being more of a just a different activity. And again, thank you for giving us a different activity, that it's not the same thing for the whatever theater, but
It would be nice to still have haunted Lost Sectors. I'm not saying, because we've always said this, don't take the stuff out of the game, add stuff to the game, unless you find that, trial it, have this and that. And if nobody's playing the old stuff, then just move along with the new stuff. But it would just be nice to have a mixture of what you could kind of go and do.
Yeah. What would be a really cool week 3 secret addition to this is, hey, haunted Lost Sectors are back, but only for this week. Throw it in as a third week thing. Hey, we're going to throw the haunted Lost Sectors in if you in addition to the haunted altars. If you didn't care for one, or you couldn't play these 2 weeks, here's still a chance. Here's a chance to come and play and catch up and go enjoy yourself. There's like you said, add to the game. Don't continue to make it so small and taking things away.
Yeah. Now, getting back to those weapons, so we have the Gunburn, which is the submachine gun. It's going to be a lightweight frame. It's kinetic. It can roll with some of the new perks. So it's got Bewildering Blast, Lone Wolf, Threat Detector, Stats for All, Recycled Energy, Pugilist, and Lead from Light. It also has Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremors, Ancillary Ordnance, Target Lock, One for All, Wellspring, and Binary Orbit. I'm not 100% on that, because I'm not sure what you kind of go with. Do you go with target lock or do you go with kinetic tremors? Don't know. Or do you go with the new ones with the ancillary ordnance, which is rapid final elemental blows and final blows on target affected by elemental debuffs periodically prepare a homing missile, which is launched from your targets after the weapon's next final blow. Because I know Fallout did a video, didn't he, over those two perks, the ancillary ordnance and the bewildering blast. So they're both going to be on that.
Yeah. I'm looking at that list going, it's certainly a lot of things I could do. Which of them excite me? I don't really know.
Yeah. And then we have the Hushed Whisper, which is your combat bow, which is going to be Strand. So, yeah, you've got two weapons that are fighting it out for your primary slot there. That's going to be a precision bow. That is going to roll with Tear, Impulse Amplifier, Successful Warm-Up, Lone Wolf, Lead from Light, Snapshot Sights, and Slice, with Archer's Gambit, Hatchling, Explosive Head, Collective Pugilism, so collecting an elemental pickup or destroying a strand tangle grants this weapon a stacking period of melee energy generation on hit. Collective Action, Aggregated Charge, this weapon deals more damage for each elemental debuff applied to the target. And Precision Instrument. That one looks a little bit more interesting than just like a standard submachine gun, to be honest. I say a standard, so yeah, it's 900 RPM submachine gun. What do you think?
I think we're at the point in this game where there's so many perks, I have to really look at them and read what they are to remember what they are. I'm going, you said a lot of things, some of those sound good, but some of it just washes over me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look for what we had with equivalents at the moment. I mean, I have lightweights, so we can compare some lightweights. So we've got Escape Velocity, Yorovich MG4, the Showrunner, the Prolonged Engagement, and the Multimax CCX. We're all in that primary slot, vying for your attention with the 900 RPMs. I don't know if it's going to be able to fit in there. But
yeah, knocking Multi-Mock out of that spot seems tough. Yeah, at least there are new weapons. Like, we should. I feel like sometimes we just need to move the bar a little bit. Go, hey, we are getting new things. There are weapons to farm out of this. Like, there is something, and these weapons, typically have ended up being something interesting, something good. It is sort of a roll of the dice of, I hope you've got some vault space to put some of these in your vault or put them on a character somewhere. Yeah. Because, like, some of these may end up being quite good, or this, or they're, I feel like sometimes like they'll throw a weapon out with like a new or an interesting roll on it, and then that will become something new or interesting or something like that. It'll be like, oh, hey, now we've got something that will become a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. Again, is anybody going to have vault space at this point? Like, that's the other problem again with all this. I know it's coming in Renegades again, and I'm not even one of those, because I've just been throwing. I'm having the reverse problem. I'm having to collect armor again now that I've dumped so much armor. I'm having to just recollect it and throw it in the vault to say I need to have armor to make builds out of. Now that I'm, it's still just sort of surpassed that 400 level, so the tier 4s are dropping. Yeah. I've got plenty of vault space, but I need stuff to that feels, I need a reason to play to get stuff to put it into the vault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will link the roadmap that the game posted. The article that they say that they've got a roadmap, but it's really a calendar of events that's happening. Because they do go into further what's actually coming after that with the call to arms, with the details that have been available. So, but we'll go over that closer to the time, because let's face it, there's going to be some weeks in between where there isn't any information, or Bungie might come out and tell us beforehand the official information. So next week we'll get the official information about what's coming for Fest of the Lost, what's actually happening with the events. Maybe they will include the Haunted Lost sectors, maybe they won't. But I will tell you now what is happening next week with our limited schedule of stuff. This is your weekly rundown for the Edge of Fate, week 14, starting on October 14th. This Tuesday at Reset, we'll see update 9.1.5.1 go live in game, bringing a whole host of changes to the portal and progression. including speeding up the power climb with more powerful drops in solo, fire teams, and pinnacle ops, with the extra bonus engrams also awarding you the same power as engrams you get from end of chest activities. Power adjustments have also been removed from all challenge modifiers, with a power cap for each difficulty tier instead, and a power catch-up for new and returning players, boosting them to the power level of 300. More secrets are to be found over in the new exotic mission Heliostat. Return to the Playgrounds once again to stop the Conductor stealing abandoned Warsack technology. Storm the Golden Age facility alongside your psionic allies and claim the new exotic axe Wolfsbane, and remaining catalysts. Once completed, the full customizable version will be available in the Portal Pinnacle Ops, where you will be able to customize your modifiers and tier rewards. In the Portal Cruiser Ops this week will be competitive, control, and a variant of Cutting Edge, with Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Other non-featured modes of 3v3 Lockdown and 6v6 Relic can be found over on the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera. In the fireteam ops we have the 3 new Reclaim missions, Cabal's Watch, Conductor's Keep, and Fallen Bunker, Battlegrounds Behemoth, and Episode Echo's Core, 3 additional strikes of Hypernet Current, Insight Terminus, and Fallen Saber, 3 expeditions from Season of Plunder, Nessus, Cosmodrome, and Europa. We also have the strikes of Liminality, the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, the Inverted Spire, and the Glassway. Battlegrounds Oracle, Foothold, Delve, and Conduit, Empire Hunts the Warrior, Technocrat, and Dark Priestess, with Savathun Spire Offensive. In the Pinnacle Ops we have the 3 dungeon layers, Pit of Heresy beneath the Necropolis, Duality Nightmare of Goron, and Warlord's Ruin Heaven's Vengeance. The new exotic mission Heliostat with the Wolfsbane exotic axe as the main reward. Move from fireteam ops we have Onslaught Widow's Call and Midtown, Episode Revenant Contest of Elders with the Coil. Exotic missions Presage with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward, the Season the Haunted, and opulent weapon sets, plus the Idolian Pursuant armor set. Node Override Avalon with Excalibur exotic glaive being the main reward, and the Season the Defiance weapon set. Starcrossed with the Wishkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, and the Season the Wish weapon set. The Whisper with the Whisper of the Worm exotic sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall with the Slayer's Fang exotic shotgun being the main reward, and Encore with the Choir of One auto rifle being the main reward. On Kepler, featured mission 1 this week will be Commencement, and featured mission 2 will be Charge. This week's challenges are Red Hot Riff, The Sun's Fire, The Fallen Fall, and Heavy Hardware. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Divilian Mist and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Hive enemies and the Plague Kragar. The Ascendant challenge will be the Chimera Garrison over in the Chamber of Starlight Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Trove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Fogoth, Fear, Crota, Despair, and Fanatic Insanity. The Altars of Sorrow start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Zydron and the Heretic Rocket Launcher. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Taken, Cabal, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 2. Scathelock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Last Chance, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on attack with the Kinetic Bow, Feltar Diddle, and Borgon Hive Knight as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is Breakneck, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex Incursion will be Umshire Park. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The 12 Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Lost Sector rotation for this week will start with Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City, The Quarry on the EDZ, Bunker E15 on Europa, K1 Communion on the Moon, Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, The Conflux on Nessus, Sepulchre on the Throne World, and the Blooming Deep in the Pale Heart. With the Edge of Fate, all raids and all challenges are now available all the time, and at present there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week, and the Ashen Iron update now allows you to farm past raids and dungeons for their respective exotic weapons, with no weekly lockouts. The new raid, the Desert Perpetual over on Kepler, has now been updated with a normal and epic version, with both dropping tier 3 plus loot, with a chance of the exotic rocket launcher Whirling Ovation to drop. The Sundered Doctrine dungeon can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality Zager up for grabs. The exotic mission rotator will be Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger exotic grenade launcher being the main reward. The Season of Risen's weapon set, plus the Tusk Allegiance armor set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the 6th week of Ash and Iron.
Well, now we know.
We do know.
I don't know, but everybody else knows. I'll just have to catch up with everybody else at some point.
Well, I mean, we'll come back to the other bit about that they've put in the TWAB, but it is basically going over. I briefly outlined what's coming with 9.1.5.1. So portal and progression changes. So this is where they're adjusting the modifiers. So instead of players being capped in the effective powers within each difficulty, we're now going to have normal difficulty delta cap is 0, advanced is -10, expert is -15, master is -20, which is if everybody gets the catch-up chest next week, they will all be at kind of -20. Then you have grandmaster at -25 and ultimate is -30. And then you can slap on your buffs and debuffs to kind of put up that score. So, players will no longer have difficulty tier auto-selected for them until they meet the power level of the activity. You can do what you want, but we had a whole discussion on that like a couple of weeks ago when Cheese was like, "This is going to be bad." I'm still on the side of Cheese. It's going to be worse than what we've got at the moment, but we'll see how it kind of goes. We're going to get the power. I guess it's going to be a catch-up chest, isn't it?
Yeah. It's throwing everybody to 300 and validating anything below 300, and then they're going to tweak the levels of things again. And I'm at this point. I just want them to sort of pick something and stick with it. Like it's so hard to try. I mean, honestly, this is part of why I just I load up the game and I go play PvP, or I'll go just into fire team ops. I just trying to figure out all the and I get why people are saying, "Hey, I'm going to take a break till Renegades." Trying to figure out on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis what are the deltas? What should I be playing? What are the rules of this game anymore?
Yeah. Well, I think they want to make the deltas easier, so it's only going to be like -30 for the ultimate, but to get better scores, it's going to be the reverse of what it is now. So at the moment, you can put the stakes on, and you can really ramp up the stakes, and that will push up the points so that you don't have to put that many of your debuffs on to make the enemies that much more powerful. So it's going to be the reverse of that. So you're going to be locked at -25, -30, whatever power delta you're in, and then you're going to have to put on your stakes and your debuffs to kind of bring those technically it's going to make it harder with putting on all those extra your banes and modifiers.
This I feel like is just a perfect example of just whatever you were doing, now we're going to change it again, and now you have to try to figure out and do the math.
The idea is there's no math, but it's still, you've still got to push up those modifiers to get the score to the area that you need to get the better drops, and you're going to be looking at B+ and A. So it's like you said, it's a new way of doing it, and we've now got to kind of find the best way of doing it now.
How is this better?
That's what Cheese was saying, wasn't it? It's like, how is this going to be any better?
Well, and not only that, but just like this entire system of going in and picking and choosing. Like, I'm so tired of having to go in and choose my own modifiers. Like, I'm sort of the point going, you guys built the game, so build the game. Give me things to do. Give me things to go in and play. Why am I having to figure all this out?
See, I do like the fact that I can pick my own modifiers, but what I don't like is the fact that you have to pick so many modifiers to make it that you actually get a decent drop. Whereas beforehand, where they used to pick like a couple of modifiers, and you could go and play just activities in the director and get pinnacle rewards without even having to worry about, have I got all my stuff's going to be locked? Have I got the right stuff to deal with the champions? Have I got the right stuff to deal with the banes and it's like, it was simpler back then, but I do like the idea of being able to pick what I want to kind of go up against, just not as many things to kind of go up against. I get what they wanted to kind of give us. Maybe
Yeah.
this new version might give us that, but it's just,
I mean, it sounds silly, but it was sort of the same point, in the Scaro 9 video I shared last week. It just, the amount of thought you have to put into before I could log into the game, I could, choose the kind of activity I wanted to do and a difficulty level, and then just go play it.
Yeah.
Now there's like a 15-minute conversation between swapping loadouts and checking for, again, because everything's locked. Do I have everything? You're basically leaving on a road trip every time you leave the house. Okay, do I have everything I could possibly need for this entire trip before I go? Because all my loadouts are locked. I can't change anything around.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure I have all the champion things and all the things and this and, I'm trying to do this. Oh, there's a modifier around that. And just the amount of work, like, honestly, that's part of why I look at the game and just say, I don't want to do all this. I just want to relax and play my video game. I don't want to make 17 choices just to go play something. Like, again, that's why I've been drifting toward Crucible more lately. I can just play the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I want for my video game, is to relax and play my video game.
Relaxing in Crucible, yeah. But I get it. Yeah, I do get it, because I do enjoy, once I've done the stuff in the game, going and playing Crucible, using all my different builds and my loadouts and all my new gear and playing about with it. That's just, I couldn't even bring myself. I know I've got to do the campaign for my Warlock and my Hunter.
You don't. You really don't.
Well, I do. I'm not paying silver to unlock the place to go to, because if you don't do it, you can't go to Kepler. You don't have access to those activities. And I'm like,
are you going to Kepler though? Have you been back to Kepler? I mean, I'm not asking to be like facetious, but I mean, honestly, I sort of continue to forget Kepler exists. And even when I don't like unless I'm running the Civ or something, because that's, sort of interesting to me, what is there to go back for?
Well, there's all those on my Titan. I completed the campaign, and then I went back through and did the next. Is it Fabled? Yeah, it's Fabled next. So I've gone back through and done the Fabled version to unlock more stuff on Kepler. But then I've still got all those little blue flags, and every time I kind of go, I sit down and go, I'm going to go and do one of those blue flags, and I do one of those blue flags, and I complete it, and then 6 more pop up, and I'm like, oh my god, there's more things,
right.
or there's more kind of blue dots all over the thing. I'm like, oh my god, have I picked up the right thing? Have I gone to the right one? Have I started the right mini quest? And I'm like, well, I need to get those done. So, I mean, I suppose I don't really need to get those done, but it seems I need to kind of get those done to unlock Matter Spark 4 and 5 and 6 and whatever else that.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of like why, because again, like I've been doing the same thing. I've sort of been going in and saying, oh yeah, I have all these 10,000 blue side quests to do, but it's like, but what am I doing them for? You can get Matter Spark 4. Okay, other than I'm sure there's a chest somewhere I can unlock. It's like, I feel like that's part of my problem with Kepler is I don't really know what I'm going back. I mean, yes, there are plenty of things to do. There are many, many secrets to find. Like Bungie said, there's all sorts of things I could be doing, but the reward for spending my time to do them is not clear to me, and still has not been made clear to me. It's like, yeah, there's 1,000 side quests, and sometimes if I'm on solo, I'll just jump on and do some of those side quest things and go, okay, well, I've cleared some more blue flags. What am I working toward? Why am I clearing these? The reward is just unclear to me. And
they're not rewarding. That's the other thing, is that you go and play the Fabled and you play the mythic versions of the campaign, and you think that if you're at 400, you should be getting 405 drops. If you're at 510, you should be getting a light bump with doing activities on Kepler. But no, you have to do the portal activities, which makes no sense. And if you were to play and you were to do all 3 characters, and so you've got to play it 3 times to unlock the whole thing for the story for each character. You then have to play it at least 2 more times to go through on Mythic and Fabled, and then Mythic to unlock to fully unlock it. But then I don't know if you then have to do that on all the characters, or if you just have to do it on one of the characters to unlock like challenges or like triumphs and things like that. I'm guessing it's only once, but that is potentially 5 times doing the same story, which I know. Let's say that I don't think there was 2 tiers, was there, when we did the final shape? I think it was just you did the harder tier and then that was it. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I remember. It's like you would go, you would do the campaign, the hard, the harder one or the easier one, basically.
you could like go back and play those 3 missions that were in the center of the map to get the macrocosm, and they had the different modifiers and stacked if you had solo or if you were the fire team.
Yeah,
But
true.
that was
Yeah,
the only kind of extra difficult thing for those campaigns.
right. And that's, I mean, talk about another thing I never went back and did. Not from understanding, but just like it just never.
Yeah,
It was just never convenient to do. Yeah, just there's like I really like this is just part of my struggle with Kepler and the Edge of Fate. Is just like there's no shortage of things to do, but there's
No.
such a shortage of understanding why I would do them. What's the value in doing them? What am I going to get out of this? And I think part of the problem is that answer has changed since Edge of Fate came out. I feel like it's never been week to week a consistent, oh, you'll get this or get this. And at this level, like, I don't think I could explain, sitting down with my nephew going, hey, here's a Destiny drama. And he goes, hey, here's a Fortnite drama. If he was like, hey, I'd like to pick the game back up and, maybe play for a couple weeks. I don't even know if I could succinctly explain how or where or what. It's just like I really just don't know. And I've tried to follow this. Like I tried to stay on top of these things. But I just have so much sympathy for Dado and folks who are just like, I'm gonna come back in Renegades. You guys sort this out and tell me how your game works, and then I'll come back and play it. It's just I feel like I don't understand the game I've been playing for a decade.
Yeah.
It's just I really feel like I'm trying, and it's just so confounding to me where you want me to play. I understand that. Again, there's loads of things to do outside the portal. That Kepler has a lot of secrets, but it just feels like they give us a campaign, which I enjoyed well enough. I always think I'm going to enjoy the campaigns. I want to replay them, and I don't. Fine. But
Yeah.
but then it's like, oh, here's all these extra secrets and story bits. It's like, well, if I didn't need to do this in the story, and it's not really part of the campaign because I got through it all on Legendary, what are these for? Again, I just, I really feel like we're in the golden age of no one's around to explain Destiny's game, Bungie's game to the rest of us because they're just as confused as we are. And Bungie's like, we don't know either. So we're all left sort of going, so what are we trying to do here? What's the value of doing any of this? And I just don't have a good answer for that.
No.
I've really been sitting here going I've been thinking about this week, why has this just not, hit me in the same way some of the other expansions and stuff have? Why do I just look at Kepler and go, why would I ever go back here? What are all these blue things? Why do I care?
Kepler's not giving us power progression. If Kepler gave us power progression, I think you'd see a lot more people engaged with playing Kepler as well as the portal. I mean, it's the same as kind of seasons that have gone past, that you have the 6-man activity and you do that 6-man activity if you want to till your eyes bleed. And then you go, please, no, I don't want any more of that 6-man activity. Give me a new season, new 6-man activity. I will play that. And if they're good, people kind of stick around and play them. If they don't, they kind of just do it until they can kind of get out with what they want to kind of get out of it. But it's like you've got the portal and that's it. You can play the portal. We've got tons of activities in the portal, but only 4 or 5 of them in each category are match made. And it's like,
yeah, I mean, so it's again, the portal, I'm not going to open that can of worms again. It's like, so we've taken our massive game and we've shrunk it down to the portal. And now we've added the new location that is in opposition to the portal because you have to go to the new location to play the campaign to start out. Again, I say have to, if you want to, you don't have to do anything.
No.
But to unlock this, you play the campaign, you get through that, and then Kepler is still there, but Kepler is not part of your ongoing progression in the game. So, like, I just like it is. Like, I just feel like I'm missing something. I feel like somewhere someone in a meeting should have said, "Hey guys, we're pushing players here and then there, and never bringing them back to this new location or giving them a reason to play." Or I don't know.
The thing is, if you didn't play Kepler, if you didn't want to go near Kepler and you didn't want to touch the portal, you could probably still go on the director and play director activities to get your power level up to 200 and then come and play
absolutely.
the portal.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
What is the point of Kepler? Because at that point, Kepler is still, it may push you. I think if you did some of the activities, it pushes you up to 300. Or do the story campaign after you've hit 200, it pushes you up to 300 with some of the drops and things. But it's like, I don't need to do this.
You almost don't like you almost really don't, because even on like like the weekly the weekly track stuff, like other than get a B score and things, you can do like a lot of them are just like get kills or generate orbs. Like you can do like when I was playing Gambit to guild my title, because that's the thing I really enjoy. I was knocking out a sort of a surprising to me number of things in just that weekly, like, hey, go knock out these, I'll call them, bounties basically, because that's what they are. Hey, go knock these out, and which you can just do anywhere in the game. It doesn't require the portal except for the, score a B tier or higher, that's one that I remember. I'm sure there's a couple others that are like, requires, like a scoring thing or a portal thing. But most of it, you just don't need it. You could still do this and just ignore Kepler, ignore the portal again until you get to 300 at least, 300, and just go do what you want to do and have a good time with it and just ignore everything else. It just feels like such a weird, like the game fighting against itself. It just feels like such a weird set of decisions. It's like, why did you build this thing that now there's no reason to go and interact with, but build 1,000 secrets? Like I love the idea of 1,000 secrets into this, and you can do this and unlock this and find this new thing. But you never gave us a reason to do any of that. Like you that sounds great if there's a reason to go do it. If there's never a reason to go back to this location, unless you're just a diehard or really enjoy the secrets, you're just never going to do it. And welcome back to Destiny 2 as therapy. Just trying to understand. Again, well, I've just been just looking this week. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think, as I said, like at the opening of the show, is that I think Justin Truman you can see that he's actually kind of taken over, although he said anything publicly. But I think you can see that the times are kind of changing over at Bungie with what they're actually doing. So we'll go back in the TWAB to the bit where Renegades power reset update. So beforehand, when Renegades was hitting, we were going to have everything taken back down to 200. Your tier systems that you just kind of grinded for the last couple of months were going to be null and void. So you may have got a lovely tier 5 weapon, or you've got your full tier 5 armor set, but those are only going to be available or useful up until Renegades. So they've changed that with the tier system. They've already announced that anything you kind of got in these last couple of months from Ashen Iron and from Reclamation, the beginning of the Edge of Fate, that is still going to be viable going forward in Renegades. Now we've got some more changes. So in keeping with the commitment to hear and act on player feedback, they've got some major changes announced on how the seasonal power will carry over at the beginning of Season 28 and the launch of Destiny 2 Renegades. So your seasonal power will now carry over from Season 27. So we're currently in Season 27. That's going to carry over into Destiny Renegades. The tooltips will be updated to reflect the removal of the season power reset. Unstable cores, so the ones that were also going to be taken away from us, they are still going to be sticking around, so they're not going to be removed now. Since this announcement, they've seen some general questions about the power cap and unstable cores economy. So they have no plans to raise the power cap at this time, because I think I did see somebody say, are they going to just raise the power cap from 550 up to 700 and then XYZ after that. No, they're not going to do it. It's going to remain at 550 throughout Renegades. So if you're at 550 or you're going towards 550 and you get to 550 before Renegades, you're kind of set that nothing's going to happen. Even getting up to 550, it's just going to be able to carry on in Renegades. So the next priority for Unstable Cause is to revisit the economy and address player feedback around this currency. And they plan to have more details in the future tweets. So stay tuned. In addition, they then go into the power catch-up that's going to be happening on October 14th to give new players and returning players a boost up to 300 power. So, but we were discussing this when it kind of came. I think it was on Twitter, wasn't it? They announced it first at the beginning of the week that they'd changed their minds. And I'm not saying that it's a bad change, and I think it's a change in a direction that some people seem to like. But I think it's an admittance of failure or that they've done something wrong. My view on it is that instead of transferring the power across, maybe just have everybody be able to get to 400 or 500 very quickly in whatever season. And yes, maybe kind of be able to kind of transfer what you've kind of got with your armor and your weapons from Edge of Fate over into Renegades for the whole year kind of thing. And maybe, that can be discussed at a later stage. But I think this thing of carrying your power over, it's not giving people another thing to kind of grind for. And I know we've had many seasons and many expansions where we've grinded our power and then they've only bumped it up by 10 each here and there, and a lot of people didn't like that. They were like, well, why am I grinding up another 10 levels? So then I think at one stage they went, well, okay, you don't have to grind up 10 levels. If you're at that power level, it just kind of carries over for the next episode or season or whatever we were in at the time. And people didn't like that, the fact that there was no grind. And it's like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place with whatever decision that they make. But I think that some of the thing that does excite people, and it excites me, is when I get a powerful drop to kind of infuse into whatever I'm kind of rocking to bump my light up. And if I get to 550 for Renegades and there's not that kind of, what am I kind of playing the game for of bumping my light up? I don't think... I think there will be lots of people that won't enjoy that. Whereas I know taking away your light, if you've grinded to 550, but then you've earned that, you've got to that point and you're getting the tier 5s. But if you were knocked down to 200 in Renegades and then the power climb back up to 550 or back up to 500 was a very, very quick kind of path, I don't think it would have hurt the player base. Or I don't think it would hurt players, because if you were giving them good power bumps with whatever they were playing, Portal or the seasonal stuff, then, or even going back to Kepler and doing that, adjusting that for what we've just spoken about, but just giving people really significant power bumps. And they should have done this for Edge of Fate. You should have had a very fast progression up to 400 for the first half, 500 for the second half, and then that extra 50 is the grind part. That's the bit where you're pushing your light to go even higher if you want to kind of do that. Removing the grind of your power, I think, is going to hurt the game next season. And that is my own personal opinion. I know we were talking to Noble, and I think it was Renard as well in the chat, that I think Noble's kind of, it's a good thing. Just he doesn't want kind of the grind of the power, and he's all for this kind of change. But I'm like, I don't see what's going to entice people to come back and play or grind their light to do activities or new activities and things. I don't think it's a change that needed to be done. I think if they'd have said, we are going to significantly increase your power levels with, you are going to be reset to 200, but all that gear that you've acquired is still going to be viable. But the power grind is going to be significant. And when we say significant, we're talking like for the first half, for like 200 to 300, you're getting plus 10 in light for your drops, for example, anyway. For 300 to 400, it slightly drops down depending on what you're kind of doing. So if you're doing, say, solo ops, you get +3 in light. If you're doing fireteam ops, you get +5. If you're doing pinnacle ops, you get +7 in your light. And that's how you kind of get people to kind of do those different activities. The solo, the fireteam, the pinnacle give you reasons to go and play those different things, you know. So it's worth it to go into those activities, so that when you get up to 400 or 500 and, you know, actually have activities that light actually matters. You know, you've taken away Iron Banner, that having a light requirement, you've taken away it from Trials of Osiris. It's very weird how we've gone from a light based system to not a light based system. It's more of like changing all the different modifiers. But I mean, what do you think?
I'm partially just conflicted and just trying to sort of get my own thoughts in order, because it's like light was sort of, you know, your difficulty level to a degree. Like it both gave you something to chase, you know, getting that last drop you needed to push your light level up to that, you know, next tier. It really, you know, got you to that, you know, you got past a Forever 29 to 30. You got to, you know, from 1999 to 2000, like, you know, you had that level. It gave you something to chase, where you were just doing by, you know, again, like just grinding and playing the game, hoping for that drop of whatever. And now, like you said, I mean, we've taken light out of everything and basically just put in artificial, you know, the artificial difficulty of just, you know, of the stakes and the, you know, making the, you know, introducing the deltas, making everything harder. So it's like, I don't need to grind my light, because if I have a friend or a matchmate, you know, again, you know, if I'm doing anything where light level matters, you know, because it's pinnacle or something, I'm with people. I've fire team found, or I'm with friends or something, like, you know, which I don't need to grind my light for, because it's going to push me to the highest light of whoever's in my fire teams. You know, my friend who's at 500, it'll bring me up to there. So I don't need light level as a way to get in the door to the game, you know, do the activity, and nothing I'm doing in PvP light level matters. So what's the purpose of light level at this point?
Yeah.
Like,
so I understand why they're taking it away then.
Yeah, right. It's like, other than to say, I mean, again, like I do really like the tier differences. Hey, you know, it basically every 100 light levels, that gives you a better tier of weapon, you know, a different tier of weapon. That's great. Like I wish we would have had a while ago. Like that just feels so understandable. Yeah. Of, hey, you know, you get to this tier and you get this many hundreds of lights, you know, light level, and then you get this, that, and the other tier of reward. Great, perfect, super understandable. There's no real reason to get your light level up higher, you know, if not for bragging rights or not for, you know, again, you know, you're doing
tiers,
day 1.
You want the tier 5, right. You want, so that there is that. But then if you're already at that and you get the tier 5s and you get those drops within the first couple of weeks, it's like, unless you're coming back for different events, which are very limited with what's available, there's no real grind there to kind of get your teeth into to make it worth it. It's like, and we've gone from like having a grind to not having a grind, to a significant grind to not having a significant grind. They've tried all these different things. And I know this is a quick fix, but I'm not sure this is the right quick fix now. Yeah.
Because again, I've been, I made it to 400, been sitting at 400 for a while, because I'm not like, I want to get to tier 5 and I want the tier 5s to drop, but like, I'm just not, like, that's not motivating me. Going, oh, you'll get better tiers of weapons of stuff you have, which great. Again, great. Like that's why I'm playing the game, is to make number go up, make loot better. But, you know, like, it's like the light level grind can't be the sole reason you're grinding the light level. You know, again, there has to be a reason to do it. You're grinding for something. You know, I'm grinding so that I can. I'm grinding this so I can get in the door to play the activity to then get this to drop. Like we're you know, I don't want to sit here and say, like, I don't want to say, oh, don't take away, don't bring me up to the light level of the highest person. You know, I don't want to take back any of that stuff, because it just removes your reason or people's ability to play, other activities or end game activities. So it's like, those are, I feel like I've run just headlong into the problem of, is this a game where I can sit down and play with my friends casually, or do you want everything to be a challenge and a struggle and a delta? And I feel like we've gone 100% the other way of everything is now a challenge and a struggle, and you've got to spec out your challenge and figure out what challenge you want to overcome today. It's no longer, hey, let me sit down after work, turn on the game with my buddies and play. And I think that's where I'm stuck going. I can do this, I can play this, but it's more trouble than it's worth. Where I could turn on a Fortnite or a Borderlands or Battlefield just came out, turn that on, jump in, and go have fun. Like I don't. It's like the whole Portal and Light and Delta system is for people who want to sit and like think about every challenge they're doing, or really min max, or really deeply invest and deeply think about every time they turn on the game and what activity they're going to play. And that is just never where I've been. Like it's too many decisions from turn the game on to go play an activity and feel like I'm going to have a good time with it and be rewarded by it. Like the reward and, the reward and fun metrics are just not lining up. I can have fun, but then I'm not rewarded, or I'm rewarded, but I'm not having fun because my loadouts are locked and I've got this and that on. And, it's there's just such a disconnect in this system. And I'm hoping that, like you said, I'm hoping that starts to change. And, I'm not sure Bungie can tell us like what's the purpose of light level. Like obviously they want to reset it. They don't want to just, make everything harder and harder and harder because we're power crept higher and higher and stronger players. So it's like, okay, so, but so what then, what do we do now? And I think, they're still looking for that answer of how do we balance it out, make it engaging, make you want to play, and give you that fun and reward. Is it both fun and rewarding to turn this game on and have a good time with it? And I'd like to say I want to get back to that point.
Yeah. I think Ferrell was the other one we were talking to in the chat, and I was like, I think Bungie have completely missed the point. And on that power grind, it's just, people did love a power grind. We've whined about it, but I think that's because this power grind was so monotonous, and
we whine about everything.
Various different deltas. I think I was listening to Guardian Down this week, and they were saying, I think Gator was saying that going from like 420 to 470 was really hard. But then once you hit that 470 plus, it then kind of opens up again with how much it's rewarding you.
Yeah.
I think Nobu was like saying, give people reasons to kind of log in. Because I said, my argument was, right, everybody's at 550. Let's say everyone hits 550 when you get to Renegades. What is the incentive to carry on playing the game after, say, 3 weeks? Just for instance. So week one comes and you get the story like we had with The Edge of Fate. So you can play that story through Renegades. You've completed the story week one. Week two, maybe we get the dungeon. You go in, you play your dungeon, and let's say, for instance, you play it a couple of times and you get the exotic to drop, and maybe you have to go back in to get the catalyst for it. After week three, what is there to come back to the game to do if you've done the stuff that is in the game that is just for Renegades? Unless there is something that is completely repeatable that is going to have people just foaming at the mouth to come back and play over and over again, and only going on like the past season, I'd say that's going to be quite hard to get people to kind of come back and play over and over again. What could you kind of do? And I think Noble was saying, sets of armors, skins, sparrows, exotic weapons, exotic catalysts. So I'm like, well, after 3 weeks, you're going to be out. If you've got the stuff, if you're a streamer and you play it constantly, it's just going to be pocket change. It's going to be in and out. That's it, over and done with. There's nothing there. There's no grind to get people to kind of come and play.
Right. Yeah. And I think, that's feels obvious here in hindsight. That's another thing you hit on the head. It's just, there's no a lot of what would motivate me to log in every week was, there was a seasonal story. Even if I wasn't doing it every week, there was a storyline to continue with. There was something to go play. There was something to go bring me back in to help me to progress. And it was also just giving me rewards, giving me drops, giving me loot to go in and play. Or it's like, okay, let me go do the story. Let me run through these missions. I'm not going to say, oh, I love the story missions and I miss the story missions. But it was something to come back and play every week. It was a reason to log in and say, "Oh, let me keep up with this," because I want to not be super far behind on the story. There's things to do. I've got a chore list I've got to knock out. There was something to come in and do and knock out, and that's just another thing that's gone. And there's just again, the story needed some work. It needed to sort out the hows and whys of how we wanted that story to work and how we're telling the story, but again, just another reason where and I think that's why we as players are looking for, what activity is up this week. Cause there's just, there's nothing to bring you back into the game. If you're not super dedicated to grinding your power level, or again, there's, trials I count as an activity. I got on play cause I wanted to get a couple of auto rifle rolls, out of a time limited activity to come in and play. I look at the portal and just none of that motivates me. Just none. I look at that and going, yeah, sure. Would I like some rolls of that? Would I like to get some drops? Would I enjoy doing this? It's like, yeah, but not enough to go do it.
Yeah. And I think one of the conversations we were having in the chat was that Noble was questioning me defending Bungie. And I'm like, I'm not defending Bungie. But the question is, what does this actually solve? It's a quick fix for the community that, don't want their gear to be useless after 3 months, because it just seems like they're going, right, we're going to sunset your weapons and then go back on the sunset of the weapons, like way back in Destiny 2. And then we got to the stage of the Edge of Fate, and it's like, well, every 3 months your stuff's going to be sunset. And now we've gone back on that. And now it's like, it's just...
Yeah,
I understand that they want to sunset stuff so that they could bring more stuff into the game or change the game up somehow. But they always seem to go back on we're too scared to sunset because it's upsetting everybody. And it is. It's going to upset everybody because it seems to be. I mean, my vault is a perfect example of a hoarder and a collector of all these different things. Of, well, that weapon may come back and it may be amazing because I've got that roll that just breaks the game, kind of thing. And like I was saying, because I think Noble was questioning me, because I was saying I was having a lot of fun with old weapons in the Crucible, because it doesn't matter in the Crucible. I can bring in Lethal Abundance. I can bring in my Rufus's Fury that aren't this season's weapons, and I can have fun and do really well with them. But it's like stuff going away after 3 months is kind of has caused the issues.
Yeah, there's again, I feel like we're just at this crossroads between, we want things to be time limited and to go away because you don't have enough space to put them all anyway, so we have to do something to get you to swap out your loadouts and change the meta around and let us introduce new things. But they're just, it's what's even more frustrating. Sunsetting wasn't great, and we a lot of us weren't thrilled with it. Of course not, because I worked hard for that. And again, depending when you just when you got that thing you've been chasing to drop, it might have been right before it was sunset, which sucks, which is terrible. I'm not going to say it's not, but what's even more frustrating is the constant back and forth of, we're going to sunset this, we're not going to sunset this, we're going to do this, we're not going to do this. I was someone who said, well, my vault's full anyway. Let me use this as an opportunity to delete a bunch of things that, are going to be sunset. Let me just do it. Let me just rip off the Band-Aid and just, delete them, clear up the vault space. Then I'll have room for all these new things you're going to give me. Oh, just kidding. We're not doing that at all. It's like, that feels even worse, to feel like you've been tricked by, by the company who said, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Oh, just kidding, guys. Haha. Which again, I've said time and time again, just wait long enough and you'll get what you want out of this. Wait long enough and Bungie will come around. Just like we said when all of these changes were announced with Edge of Fate about, we're going to drop your power level and all this is going to be invalidated. You have to regrind everything. It's like they're going to change some of this. We don't know what this is going to look like. when, now come Renegades, now that we know that's called Renegades and when and what it is, it's like they're going to make changes and we just don't know what those changes are going to be. It's like it's going to all improve, but you just don't know, you just don't know what you're going to have, what the game is you're going to be playing by the time you get there, and what decisions are going to make and what's going to stick. Like it's even more frustrating to try to play the game of, okay, do you really mean this? Or is that what you mean today? And then come tomorrow, it'll be a totally different thing. And have I now deleted all of my favorite guns just to have them still be viable now years later? But I deleted them because you told me they were going away. It's like, and I think it's like you said, like they just weren't, like they didn't have the confidence enough to make and stick with a decision. Like everything is just sort of a half measure of like, yes, people are going to yell at you no matter what you do. People are going to be, again, however many millions of people play this game, no one's going to be thrilled with everything. Like you just have to make a decision and roll with it, but just stick with it. Like I don't know. Maybe we'll see with the new leadership. There will be just like a little more direction in it. It's just kind of like, well, this week we're doing this and that week we're doing this. And
well, I mean, it does show that they are listening to the community. It shows that they are willing to go back on what they've done very quickly on what they've done to hopefully keep people playing. I mean, I hope to be wrong. I hope that whatever they've got in Renegades keeps people playing. And I hope that keeping that power and the progression of all your gear keeps people happy. And I know we're going to get an update to the vault and the collection system when Renegades hits at the beginning of December. So I'm excited for that part of it. Like if that helps alleviate the issues of keeping the old stuff, maybe then they could then progress and then do their sunsetting thing of like, well, you can still keep that gear and it can be locked away and you can pull it back out if you want to, or those weapons, which frees up your space in your vault. I think that is some of the issue that it's tied to the vault, of that people don't want to keep regrinding the same stuff or hanging on to the stuff until they can get to the point of then swapping it for other gear. Because I hate that. It's like,
I mean,
I hope I'm wrong, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I really just, I don't know. We've never been in a spot where just more is in flux and more is uncertain in every part of this game, and just trying to keep it all straight. While, I don't know. Like, I feel like they've done so much to drive people away. Because, like, once, I mean, how many people, heard, oh, hey, we're going to sunset all this and you're going to have to regrind all this in a few months. How many people just checked out and said, no, I'm done? Like, what can you do to bring people back at this point? Like what, like, just sort of undoing the bad decisions is not going to be enough to bring, to bring people who are here back. I mean, I'm not even talking about bringing people into the game. That just feels like a pipe dream at this point. Like are there new Destiny 2 players? Unclear. But like, just bringing people back who were here, who do have, a vault of things, or, think about the game fondly or whatever. Like what do you say or do to bring those people back? And I don't know. Like, I don't know, they've certainly got some work cut out for themselves, and hopefully a plan that's gonna jive with people, and people are gonna enjoy. But we'll see. I feel like there's been much more roaming episode this week. I think we're just, I don't know where you are in your head with the game, but like, I've picked up a couple of other things, and I'm just, maybe it's just some perspective going, other games do this way. Not every game is Bungie. Not every game is this and that. And
yeah. Well, I'm still playing like the events and things, because I'm getting those reroll tokens from just completing those event tracks. Because I'm thinking at some point, if an event comes up that is really good and it's offering really good rewards, and I can just throw those reroll chips at re-rolling the daily challenges and just put it on and just have fun in there to get a really good reward, or use the money or the tokens that I'm getting in the reward shop to get what I want out of it. That's what I'm kind of saving up. So I'm doing all of that to get those reroll chips. As I said, I'm not really fussed about the weapons that are in there because they are just repeats of what we've already had. I'm getting my golf balls. I'm getting my prisms. I'm collecting the things that are pushing me up in power. I'm slowly doing that. I want to get the tier 5 stuff, but I'm not logging on daily to do that now. I'm just kind of logging on to have a bit of fun in Crucible and maybe do a couple of portal activities. So yeah,
it's very much a marathon. I'm with you. Like, it's very much a marathon to get to that light level. Like, I'm not rushing. I'm not racing. I'm not racing to get to. I mean, I wasn't racing to 400 or 500 or 550. Great, you've maxed it out. Because really, then what? You've won. Roll credits. You're done. It's like there's what is there at that point? Once you've maxed out everything, what is there left to do? The power level increase is a reason to come back and play. It's still something to look forward to. And once that's gone, I don't know what's left to look forward to.
But we got stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
We won't tell you what is happening this week because it's kind of illegal with the shotgun mods, because by the time you hear this, there's probably only a day left to play of it. So if you didn't play it this week and you missed out on the illegal shotgun mods and the cheese, I will link the Cheese Forever video because it was pretty fun. He found that the Until It Returns shotgun, which is a rapid fire shotgun in itself, it's 140 RPM. You can craft it if you were able to kind of get it way back when with overflow. And I've put trench barrel on there because I like to punch with my Titan, but you could put other things on there. I think there was a Dagio on there as well, which, slows down the rate, but it does more damage. And putting one of these illegal triggers on, or putting one of these mods on there, this illegal trigger. So every shell fired increases the rate of fire for a short time. Magazine size and reserves are increased beyond their normal limits. And having overflow on there, and enhanced overflow, I think I was getting up like 22 shots, and it's literally holding down. I held down the button and I couldn't control the recoil of this weapon going straight up on enemies, but it deletes everything, like champions, bosses. It was so much fun to kind of just grab it and put this illegal trigger on. And I thought it was going to work with the Trachinus, which is the weapon you can kind of get from the event, but it's not as good. So just
doesn't go as fast. Yeah, I don't know if it was Cheese or Fallout or someone was like, okay, build this weapon, equip this, and good luck. Good luck trying to control it at that point. Because you now have a fully automatic sweet business style machine or shotgun. Enjoy.
Yeah. And luckily the recoil on my one was, I think it was, my recoil is 70, but it literally goes straight up. You hold the trigger down and it just straight up in the air. And sometimes I was missing killing the bosses because I just couldn't hold the button down to control it to go back down. So I was doing it in little short bursts. I was like, and it's like, yeah. So yeah, we had that this week, and then trials at the weekend with Javelin 4, and as you said earlier, the Auric Disabler, which is the stand precision frame auto rifle. So that's available at the weekend, and possibly while you're still listening to this. We have the Bungie Foundation, which is gearing up for TwitchCon. So they're going to give you another emblem, and you've got to find us and say hi while you're there to get it. So we won't be able to get it. Sad times.
You won't. Maybe you will, but you the listener, not you, because yeah.
Oh yeah, not me. No, because I stay at home. No, I don't travel.
But I mean, you could be at home with your new wolf hoodie. Once you complete the mission Helios out, you can earn your Bungie Reward Wolfsbane hoodie up until the end of this year. To unlock the Bungie Reward offer, if you want a hoodie with a giant axe on the front and Iron Banner sleeves, and I'm going to assume something interesting on the back. Nope, nothing on the back. So just the front.
I would have preferred that axe on the back.
What? I mean, the wolves on the arms, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
The giant axe on the front, nothing on the back, feels like a weird decision. It is 70 freedom bucks once you have done the mission, and if you want to buy it,
Space bucks.
space bucks. Well, I mean, the word space bucks, they're freedom bucks now because it's freedom,
Okay.
baby. Or something. Who knows? Next week it could be something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 70 space bucks to acquire this hoodie of questionable style. But yeah, it's a thing you could have. But you know what else we also have?
We have some support for people that are still here playing, I guess.
Yeah, like the 4 or 5 of us who are still here, sitting in matchmaking, hoping eventually we'll get into a game. We have a known issues list with categories in it. Not just a known issues list. This one is categorized like, patch note style. So under general known issues, the vault from inventory function is not working when using a controller.
No, it's not.
No, you can pull the vault up. You can see the vault, but then if you go to try to interact with the vault to put something in there, it just switches the weapon around. It doesn't.
And I think also going to the tower and visiting the vault, you still can't put stuff in the vault.
Yeah. Also broken from the tower because I did that thing. I was like, do I have to go back to year 1 Destiny 1, fly to the tower to access my vault? Yeah, still doesn't work. So I guess if you're on a PC or not using a controller, it'll work. But yeah, using a controller breaks it for some reason. And they haven't given us hey, remap the button to this or do it's just broken. So Dim, and all the various apps seem to work fine. So you have to use those on controller because you can't get to vault otherwise. Yeah. So there's a new competitive emblem for reaching Ascendant 3. But it's not visible in your collections, so if you do get it, don't delete it because you can't get it back. Your clan reward engrams cannot be claimed by players over 500 power. So just another reason not to race to 500 because you can't get your clan reward engrams, which I'm not sure if you were picking up anyway because I'm not sure they're anywhere near rewarding, but hey, can't anyway. For under the abilities issues, your vortex grenades are pushing some enemy types away instead of pulling them in. So they are aware that it's pushing, the yellow bars out of the grenade versus into the grenade. The change to Warlock Glacial Harvest aspect to remove the stasis shard creation cooldown in PvE, again, is being released next week. They just want to make sure we're very aware that it's not here this week, but it's coming next week in Update 9151. Arc chaining from Lethal Current aspect is not activating Combination Blow. And exiting Weave Walk with a finisher does not grant woven mail. So don't exit Weave Walk with a finisher because you're not getting woven mail from it. Now for our weapon known issues, the Whirling Ovation catalyst is not dropping as intended. Heavy crossbows are not piercing non-champion immunity shield with anti-barrier bow equipped. Enhanced Reservoir Burst is not granting its intended bonus to magazine size. For armors and perk known issues, the Stronghold exotic armor is not granting infinite guard to special ammo swords. Okay. So use your heavy ammo sword because the special ammo swords, they're broken. They're not working. So no ergo summoning forever. For your activity and portal known issues, the Heliosat exotic mission lists the incorrect selection of champions when previewing the activity. It should state players will encounter barrier and unstoppable champions. Remember what we said about delays and QA and fixing things? Well, we're getting there. There are some champions. Which kind? We're not really sure. But hey, but so it's barrier and unstoppable champions in the new exotic mission. I don't know what it tells you are there, but actually, where do you launch the new exotic mission from? Here's a good first.
Go to the portal, and you just go to the pinnacle activities. It's in there.
All right, the portal, of course. So let's see. If you go to it in the game now, it tells you will be fighting. Once I find it.
Nothing. I don't think it tells you, does it?
No. It's again, at least for your first run, it says combatants with Banes are encountered frequently because Scourge.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because if you haven't done
Cascade,
it,
players will appear on or Cascade will appear on combatants. Yeah, so it doesn't tell you anything your first run. So I don't know what I'm getting the first time I go in, but yeah, on subsequent runs, it's telling you the wrong champions that are there. So yeah, barrier and unstop. That's what you're going to need to get your fancy axe. Changes previously made to activity difficulty have been unintentionally reverted, making portal activities more difficult than intended. And the Heliostat mission is not granting Wolfsbane intrinsic to all players in the fire team. So you might get your intrinsics, you might not. Just, roll the dice, hope for the best. For the Arms Week known issues, the full spend weekly challenge is not progressing when purchasing non-event weapons from A to 1. Sure isn't. And players are unable to progress the initial calibration quest on alternate characters. And that one I know, and I wasn't going to complain about until I got to this point of the TWAB, because I jumped on the world. I picked up the quest on the Titan and said, let me start this, ran a couple things, did some Arms Weeks, ran trials, went to the tower, picked up my trials passage, was annoyed that the shooting range in the tower you can't get to from the tower and vice versa. So anyway, visit A to 1. She offers me the quest. You just simply can't interact with it. You can't pick it up. There's no way you can dismiss it and then see her weapons. So I could spend currencies if I had them, but you can't pick up the initial quest to start it for Arms Week, for our 1 week activity. So hope you chose the right first character you wanted to do it on, because I think you can earn currencies, because I think I was getting currency drops from playing trials on the Warlock, but I could not begin or progress any of the quests for the, trigger mods and stuff from the Warlock at all. So yeah, totally broken on other characters. Just so choose one and that's what you get for this week. For challenges and pursuits known issues, some players cannot complete the Reclaim Missives Discovered seasonal challenges, and players also can't complete the Pinnacle Missives Discovered 3 seasonal challenges. So Pinnacle Missives Discovered 3 seasonal challenge. And that's the one I thought they completed. I swear I had a list of things fixes they pushed this week. Okay, yeah, so they have, so on October 10th, so Friday, they did autocomplete the second Avalon Pinnacle Datapad objective in the Pinnacle Missives 3 seasonal challenge. Players who were blocked from completing this challenge will now be able to claim it. So yeah, so they have resolved the second of those. So your Pinnacle Missives 3 discovered seasonal challenge has been auto-completed, so you do have to go in and claim it still, but it should be done if you've done the other pieces of it. Or I guess they've auto-completed for everybody. They've auto-completed. It's very confusing. They've auto-completed the second Avalon Pinnacle Op Datapad. So I guess if you had done everything but that one, it's available to you now. I don't know. If you care, go check. And if not, these are just words I'm saying that mean nothing to you. For our raid and dungeon known issues, players who complete... Now see, they're going to tell us that players who complete the Atlas and Almanac quest in the Desert Perpetual Epic before completing the Maps and Territories quest in the normal version are unable to complete the latter quest. But I'm pretty sure they pushed a fix out this week that told us that was fixed. So yeah, so that should be resolved. And also the phase race feat wipe in the Agreos Inherent encounter, the Desert Perpetual Epic, is triggered too early. So your race is too early. Now I'm going to go double check, because I swear they said something about the other thing being fixed this week. Let me pull up there. Okay, yeah. So yeah, on the 8th, we have resolved an issue introduced yesterday where the combatant power delta for the match-made portal activities was unintentionally increased. These activity difficulties have been brought back to where they were prior to 9.1.5 update. As a reminder, they'll be making more changes, in the next update they're going to push out next week. So yeah, the update launched on Tuesday where power deltas were off and things were harder. Then by Wednesday, they did fix that. So yeah, that has been resolved. I knew I wasn't totally crazy. I knew I'd seen that somewhere.
Yeah.
And also, just other known issues they didn't put in here. They identified an issue where the Arms Week event challenges are currently advertising incorrect total rewards. Upon completion, players will earn 10 tokens per daily challenge and 90 tokens for the weekly challenge. Which again, won't matter by the time you hear this because Arms Week will be over. But yeah, if you were confused, don't worry. It was just incorrect. And I think that was all. I think everything else I did clock that they mentioned, just a reminder, that the onslaughts were moving to Pinnacle along with, the Coil and Contest of Elders, turn in your accumulated bonus engrams before the change hits on 4 days ago. So too late, you missed it if you didn't claim those. And yeah, and then just reminding us seasonal powers and carry over, and yeah. And there wasn't really much else as far as news last week.
No.
But now we have art, and now we have movie, and now we have the end of the TWAB and a kitty cat with a lightsaber hidden in the bottom of the TWAB.
It's been a long time since we've had one of them.
Yeah, nature is healing. We have secret kitty cats. Yeah, so that's all Bungie has officially to tell us this week. Do we have any news from the video front? Anything you've watched this week that was worth talking about?
Yeah, I've got some cool videos this week. So, as I said, some of these are repeated from what I said earlier, but we have Say Wallabra. Hey, Bungie, I think you guys broke the game. So this is going over the broken Radiant Dance machines and the mobility for the Hunters and the Shiver Strike for the Titans. Those two things are featured in that video. Cheese Forever's 999 RPM trigger mod, which is what I said. You can have a look at it, what you missed out on. Profane Gaming has his Warlock Buddy test where he goes over all the changes to the grenades and what you can kind of do with those. And then to follow that up, Fallout Plays has Oh God Bungie, What Have You Done? With a prismatic Warlock build with the Getaway Artist, I think it is, yeah. And what you can kind of build into with the Warlock changes. Sneaky Beaver, as I said, has got the Infinite Golden Gun build. Fallout Plays with his Wolfsbane Exotic Guide. I've put week 1 because there may be some more guides coming out next week with all the other catalysts and all the hidden bits in the exotic mission. So that's week 1. And the Game Post Fest of the Lost info, not roadmap. So I think that's it. Oh no. Say Wallabra also has the one-shot bow in PvP. Now, there are a few kind of caveats to that and what you actually have to build into with it. But potentially you could use a bow to one-shot people in PvP. So I think Elemental Honing was said in there, but yeah, it's the new bow in the primary slot, which is the Mercuria A. Well, I say new bow, reprise bow, but yeah, you can, if you get that, then you can use stuff on that. So those are my videos that I'm recommending this week. You have a couple?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Yeah, I'm sitting here checking out my list, going talked about that. I've got Fallout. So is the new exotic axe actually good? Because that was my question. Going, yeah, it's there, it's pretty. Like, I'm excited about having it eventually, but is it any good? And he'll tell you, as Fry is squinting at it there in the thumbnail. One video that was technically last week that I forgot to actually get around to watching and include was Esoteric, the Portal Reimagined, and just sort of, if you're a fan of, short, sweet, silent videos, you will have to read, because Esoteric does not speak to you. He simply shows you pictures and puts words on screen of just how to simplify the portal, remove all these things that we don't understand and are confusing and complex. And then Kemi Cakes, we had a nice little PowerPoint presentation about Armor 3.0 and what tiers you need. This week he has the best PvP build when you have no good armor, tier 1. I'm just, hey, if you just want to go play, but you haven't grinded your face off and you don't have tier 5s in every slot, what does he recommend? What should you go play with? So I was watching that because, yeah, I've got a mishmash of armor. And like I said, my Warlock has basically an empty closet of clothing. So I'm just going, what can I put on? What should I put on? What of this is worth using, and how should I use it? And I'm just excited to play with some of the new. I really need to spend some time with the Warlock and put a proper build together, because all of the new buffs and changes look really fun. And that's again something that's bringing me back to the game, going, oh, that looks like fun. And I do have to wonder, though, after seeing those changes going, did Bungie just make these intentionally ridiculous to bring people back to say, hey, we can make changes that are good too? Or is this going to be a whoopsie in a couple of weeks and they're going to, smash them all into the floor? I'm hoping that's not the case, but I'm not confident.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I had this week, other than the ones you talked about. I thought Maven had something this week that I was going to include. Now, let me go. It was probably just the buff you talk, or the words are hard. Oh yeah. She also did do a testing video of the every turret testing video. So I'll throw that one in. So you have Maven or Profane Gaming. Pick your poison on who you want to watch doing testing with the new buddies. And yeah, so that's what I've got for this week. Any more secret things we want to throw in before we thank our patrons? Our lovely, marvelous Renard Calant, who can't be threatened with a good time. Our grenade throwers of Golden God 1562, Noble, the man coming from Texas, and Farrell. They're marvelous. We love them. They've all gone to patreon.com/TTH and said, we appreciate you. We appreciate that you're going to show up week in and week out, no matter what, and tell us about this game while we drive our cars, do our dishes, mow our lawns. Because let's be honest, we know what podcasts are for. Playing in the background while you're doing chores as an adult. So that's what we're here for. Giving you your 3 to 16 hours of content every week of what's going on. So yeah, thank you to all you marvelous human beings. And I think we've come to the end, unless you have anything you'd like to moan about, another round of Iron Banner complaints you'd like to lodge.
I'll complain about it again next week. Fine.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, then I think this is where we come to that point in the show where we hit every week where I say thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Team, and you can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. Just search Two Titans and a Hunter. We'll show up. You can go to twotitansandahunter.com. All the show notes are there, links to the episodes, where to find us places. It's all right there. If you've got thoughts, email the show, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. What's on YouTube? You really should be going to our YouTube channel because, A to 1, Eververse, what's new this week, what's there. You can get your bets on what Crucible modes are coming up, what activities are there. If you're sitting here going, what's live? What should I be playing? Hey, I'm really trying to get this activity done. Is it available to me? There's a video there. Short, sweet, British. Everything you can ask for in a video. And if you want to join the Otter Dance Troop, threaten us with a good time, throw more grenades, join our Patreon, patreon.com/TTAH. Or if you're looking for more casual encounter, coffee.com/twotitansandahunter. And if, YouTube isn't your thing and you don't want to go to twotitansandahunter.com, twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. You can go there, follow us, and you'll know when we go live, doing things and up to shenanigans. And until next week, tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.